at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, it's too late to try to go contain it. A generation fueled by creation. We live lives on a small screen nation. We control the airwaves, no negotiation. I refuse to think we need saving. Something good will come from creation. And when we think that the world is too anxious, we'll adapt, evolve, survive and save it. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. What keeps you up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. Hey, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong.
Oh, look at me. I'm retarded. I'm a globe.
No one told you life was gonna be this way. Your job's a joke, you broke. Your love life's the old way. It's like you're always stuck in second gear. When it hasn't been your day, week, your month, even your year. But I'll be there for you when the rain starts to pour. I'll be there for you like I've been there before. I'll be there for you 'cause I'm there for you too.
The whole system is designed to disconnect you from your intuition. Why? Disconnected people are easy to manipulate. Everything from sunscreen to politics to the food industry. It's all designed to disconnect and manipulate you. We are in the middle of a war right now, but it's not a traditional war. It's a war on consciousness. It's a war on freedom. This is the time to listen, not to the news. No, your intuition, your gut, your heart. Love is the greatest weapon against darkness. How do you love more? You begin by loving yourself. How do you love yourself? You listen to the messages your body is telling you.
Nobody is coming to save you. Get up. Be your own hero.
Slaves used to work all day, every day, with no pay. But they got free food, water, and shelter. Today, we work all day, nearly every day, and we get paid. But the money we make, we spend on food, water, and shelter. We're still slaves. The only thing that has changed is the illusion of freedom.
I just know we found something so wild from the ordinary. You got me kissing the ground when the sanctuary.
I'm scared, Dad.
Do you trust me, son?
Yes.
Come on, son. Rule number 1, never trust anybody.
I've told you 1,000 times, Michelle is not a man, okay? So please stop calling her Big Mike. She really hates that. I really don't know what else to say. I just need you guys to believe me, okay? Michelle is not a man. I promise. So stop calling her Big Mike, okay?
Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square.
I am struggling extremely with mental health issues, and I am trying to do that whilst being FTFE. And unfortunately, talking to flat earthers is quite painful.
All right. Thank you, Craig.
Wait for me, wait for me.
Law. Nowhere in nature or in a controlled environment can we ever produce a volume outside of containment.
What's that?
Has gas been seen or
What's that, brother?
Now let me see you drop it to the flow, drop it to
Chicken, banana, chicken, banana, chicken, banana, banana, banana.
I remember when I lost my mind.
Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind, coming to you from the heart of dystopia. We've got a lot of good people in the audience right now. I've got a couple people backstage. I'm going to bring them up. I don't know what Cubby's got on, but that is pretty freaky. I'll have to get mine out. I have some glasses like that too. Look at this shit here.
Oh, I thought this was Strange World. I'm sorry. I got the wrong show.
Hello, I see Italo Disco came.
People confuse me with Mark Sargent all the time. That just
I hope not.
Jeez, I hung out with him a little bit in Vegas. He's a nice enough guy,
Yeah.
But I don't know, man. I was going to tell you, here we are, Halloween. Nobody's come down our street. I haven't seen anybody. Nothing, man. I guess they're doing it tomorrow, November 1st. They're doing it down here at the Ed Good Park with they call it a trunk or treat. It's like, nah, I'm not gonna. You're gonna give yourself epilepsy.
You can't barely see with those things on.
You see Cubby over there going, at the mouth and shit. What's going on?
Nice knowing you guys. Yeah, I passed those things out, and I had 56 of them. And I had 2 left, so so we got about that many, which is far less than I had last year. But it's also Friday night, I've noticed, and that's
what you were giving out for trick or treat was those glasses.
Those, and then a little bit of candy. Candy's gone next year. I'm not doing that at all. But anyway, it's Friday night, and I was thinking there's probably high school football going on here in the playoffs. So I know a bunch of people are doing that kind of thing.
Man, I remember back in my day, you'd get out there and, man, we'd cover some territory. I'd use extra large pillowcase, man. And
Me too, man.
Thing up, right?
Right.
And there'd always be, like some. Everybody's had this. There's like some senile old person in your neighborhood that they just give you shit out of their house, like a fucking half a box of crackers or a cat or a lamp or some shit, And then
like Bethany from National Lampoons.
Yeah, right. Or you're out there and trying to get candy bars, man, and here somebody gives you a penny with a Jesus pamphlet, and it's like, oh, thank you,
right,
man. On Halloween, no less. Damn.
We had this one. It was this one family. Anyway, they gave away these homemade popcorn balls, and everybody loved going to those. You had to get there early before they were gone, but they were really good. That was, a long time ago. I don't know if people still do that kind of thing, like make homemade stuff to give out. I'm sure there's a few, but they're probably probably in smaller towns, because that's where I was too.
Oh no!
It shouldn't be popcorn.
No trick or treating in the apartments, huh?
It shouldn't be popcorn.
What's going on, Janusz?
Yeah, I'm saying that it shouldn't be popcorn. It should be corn and poo.
What about that candy corn? Is anybody actually?
Is that real corn?
Yeah, right. Does anybody actually really like that shit?
Does it come out solid too at the end?
Did you hear about the newest update in a matter of Charlie Kirk?
Okay.
It's part of the agenda. So how they use it now, I don't know if you're aware of that, but a lot of officials in the USA have moved to the military bases because they are scared, supposedly.
I've heard about that.
So,
Heard about
yeah.
that. Tulsi Gabbard and the rest of these people have all moved on to military bases and shit.
So
Displaced generals out of their housing areas.
So something probably big is coming because they know shit will hit the fan, and they have to be protected. That's my assumption.
Let's get it. Let's pull that fucker off like a band-aid, man. Don't do it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get this fucker. Because look, man, people are waking up. This is the thing. I found this. You'll love this. And that's why I'm glad you're here, Janos. Because we've been speaking quite a bit about this mind virus that's got a lot of Christians by the balls. And that's that Zionist bullshit placed in there by this Schofield character. And I found a really good video we'll go over on Schofield. And I think it'd be really interesting so people can see where that comes from. And then there again, it'll be here in perpetuity. That I think more and more people are coming to the realization as to what's going on.
Yep.
A lot of people are leaving that Judeo-Christian evangelism.
shit.
Only like your real tightly brainwashed blinkies are there, you know.
Do I rhymes? Second one, and King James, but not so much as the previous one. Scofield Bible and do I rhymes. That's the most. And as well, Mormons, they believe that the so-called Jews, they have to be in power and they have to be in land and so on, because they are huge supporters of Jews, so-called Jews. So know it about them.
This is done really well. This is done really well. It goes through, who was Schofield, goes through his early life from the Civil War up, and then it gets into the Kansas politics, how he was involved with that. And what you'll come to find out is that this guy was anything but a theologian, anything but a good guy, and people go, oh, he's so holy and shit, because he translated this stuff. And that's why we're all sending our fucking money to Israel and dancing around in a Christian church with a flag of fucking Moloch. What are these people doing, man? Crazy. Look at all the great people we got in here tonight. We got Marcy Chan, there's Chicago Cubby Bear. I see him on the screen too. Godzilla, ZXL Master, Only Up Dudes, Brad and Tasha, one or both, either way. We love having them. Stephanie McGuire, LJ, Sue, David's here tonight. The Fallen Slaves Us All is back with us again. Mr. Biggs, Unindoctrinated is here tonight too. Spyro Graffiti. Who else we got? Scotty, New York City. Ooh, cool kitty. Talking about Scotty from New York City. We got Chili D-Con Artist. We know about that guy. Stephanie McGuire's here with us again tonight too. Welcome, Stephanie. She's right there in the Facebook battlegrounds of the flat earth. Stephanie is. It's insane, man. That place. Wow. Talk about some fucking retards. It's like it's almost like scraping the bottom of the barrel. I'll go in there and spar a little bit, and it's the same fucking retards on there 24/7. Same ones all the time.
Yeah. I can't get into that kind of thing. That ain't for me.
Oh, I just put it in their court where it belongs. Well, as soon as you can successfully reconcile this physical impossibility, we'll go ahead and go on. And they keep trying to throw it back into you. Well, prove that you can have a pressure gradient inside. No. You have to first demonstrate or prove that you can have a specific volume of gases without physical containment. Well, we'll worry about the gradient. Notice the gradient comes after pressure. Okay. How are you going to obtain that pressure, first of all, regardless, gradient or not? You can't do it. You can never collect together a mass of fucking gases without something to put it in. That's just all there is to it.
We were talking about this, before. I know how to do it because they can bend time and space. So that's why they're bending their minds,
Yeah, that's
that's
exactly.
why they believe it.
Both of those things are concepts.
It's religion of globe Earth, religion of Big Bang, and religion of globe Earth, religion of evolution.
Let's see here. We got David Koresh is here with us too. Santero. Let me finish this up here real quick, and then we'll get into it here a little bit. David's here with us. DJ New Moon, I seen him in here earlier. Greg's here with us tonight. Oh my God, we got 100 people in here. Santero, Godzilla. We got. I think I'm repeating myself. There's Mojo, Mr. Mojo Rising. What's going on, brother? Heresy Seed, way up in the chat. I gotta go. Three Fingers, the Akinators here. Wow, I'm way up in the archives now. You guys get in here and start getting busy real quick, man. Holy
Hit the
shit.
likes like I forgot to do.
Yeah, everybody hit that like, man. It gets me up there in the algorithm at least a little bit. They don't like
Guys,
to
some
spread my
personal stuff for you, which is important. If you have any stock, I would reconsider, in your case, selling your stock.
No,
any
I
action
don't gamble.
and so on, because it's all-time high. So it might go a bit up, but soon probably it will crash. So remember, when there's a recession, always stock goes down next to zero.
I got chicken and beef. That's all I got.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't gamble, man.
Sorry.
I don't gamble. I don't play stock market bullshit. None of that. It's all no. Don't need it. The Tim Blodgett. You know, I grew up with some kids last name of Blodgett up in Michigan. It was crazy. Blowing up with notifications tonight. Good timing on this show. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on, man. More about that plane. There was actually two planes that belonged to Egypt that brought in some military contractors from Egypt that stayed here and then left. I mean, the same timing at the Provo airport. This has become a central little hub with this whole little Charlie Kirk bullshit. But I think that this might be like the catalyst, because like you said, those state officials are moving on to military bases,
I wonder what will happen. They're planning something, because they wouldn't just move like that. So that's why Charlie Kirk was kind of justification, because they are feeling threatened now, because there were protesters again close to their houses and so on. It's total bullshit. Something is on the way. I don't know what yet.
Well, the only thing there's a lot of stuff. Trump's really getting pushy with this fucking thing in Venezuela. And they've let it out. It's about the oil. It ain't nothing to do with fucking drugs or narco terror state or any other goddamn thing. Trump wants to steal that oil. That's all there is to it. He's just as big a piece of shit as any of the rest of them. I don't know how people didn't get fooled, how they got fooled by that. And he told you right to your face, man. He told you to your face, old woman, you knew I was a snake before you took me in. He fucking told you, man.
The thing, he's kind of intelligent, so he's appealing to,
he's not intelligent. He's cunning.
Yes, he's cunning,
but
he's
cunning. He's not intelligent. He's not a very smart man at all. He really isn't.
Okay, I'm corrected. You're right. He's cunning, but it appears to people, that he's grand. So he's kind of witty, because he said before there was interview that he's using the same holes in the taxes as all the sponsors.
Oh, sure. So, that's what I was. Oh, sorry. I thought you were finished. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm done. Thanks.
Oh, I was just gonna say that everybody thinks there's something coming. I mean, is it not already here? They've been siphoning. Right? They've been siphoning all this money, all Democrats, Republicans, all of them, all over these countries, and then they just bring it back to them. And then speaking of the stock market, people have finally caught on to like Pelosi. Well, all of them, they all do it. They all made all this money off the stock market. So they're just basically using all these different things to divert you away from the fact that they're stealing your money, and they're the real
enslaving you. I agree with you. It's enslavement, crouching enslavement.
Where was that? Hold on a second. This was really good.
Yeah, I gave you 2 links as well in the private chat for the.
Yeah. In a minute, I'm going to grab up that thing from.
Run first yours.
About Schofield. Hang on.
Take your tax dollars, and they say they're sending them over to this country and that country. Meantime, it's just funneling back over to them, pumping up their accounts and making them rich.
It's down here a ways. Hold on a second.
And that's basically what a lot of all these things are, is just to draw everybody's attention away to the fact that that's what they're doing.
It's going in 2 ways, because they are sending money to different countries, but then they have contracts and they have to spend those money on the stuff provided by the USA, for example, military and weapons and so on. So this money is coming back, but it's not. It's unaccounted. So the black budget is fucking great. It's incredibly big. Like before, it was 9/11, 2.3 trillion dollars missing.
Yeah, yep, right before
Can you
that.
even
Yep.
imagine this money? I can't.
No, I don't even believe that kind of money exists. Honestly, I think it's basically just numbers in a computer for the most part. The only real physical money there is the money they take from the taxpayers and you. Outside of that, it's all just at a push of a button. It could be
Right.
there today and gone tomorrow, just like Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin physical money? Hell no, it ain't.
Oh, it's
It
no,
could be
there's
gone. You know, they think they're rich, but it's just all in theory. It ain't really.
Yeah.
You know,
it's just more monopoly money without the actual paper. That's
pretty
all.
much.
Yeah.
I'm saying since very long time that the Bitcoin was introduced to get people adjusted to the digital money. So people think because they have Bitcoin, government does not control it. It does, because when there was a group of people who were trying to extort other people, they were able to track them by the blockchain, and they found the Bitcoins. So if you really want to go into the freaking cryptocurrency, go to the Monero, Pirate Chain, or I believe Diro.
Yeah,
so those are three private ones, but I'm not going into it. What I had, I sold everything.
So this is pretty good. This is kind of along the lines of some shit I've said.
So what happens if we actually did it? If we actually left this country to the rich? I'm saying, imagine if we really did it. If every working class person just stopped, teachers, nurses, drivers, cleaners, the ones who actually make this whole thing function, just said, you know what? Take it. It's yours now. The rich can have it all. You think the billionaires would celebrate? Nah, their grocery stores would shut down in 3 days. No deliveries, no restocks, no cashiers. Their kids' private schools closed. Because teachers don't work for exposure. No pilots, no flight attendants, no mechanics. Their country would look like a luxury hotel with no staff. Gold ceilings, sure, but the toilets don't flush. Within weeks, the markets would collapse. Because those billion-dollar empires, they're built on the backs of the very people they underpay. Trash piles up, hospitals fill, but there are no nurses. Even the military, yeah, the so-called muscle of this nation, starts to crumble. Because guess what? Most of those soldiers come from the same streets the rich pretend don't exist. See, the elites own everything except the skill to keep it alive. They've never fixed a power line, driven a truck, or worked a 12-hour shift just to make rent. Their power isn't real. It's borrowed from everyone else's labor. Take that away and the illusion dies. The rich don't just lose money, they lose meaning. They can't survive without us. They never could. And maybe, just maybe, letting them try would be the best lesson this world ever learns.
Yeah, so I said we just stopped. This thing grind to a fucking halt right away.
That's a great idea, but it won't happen, unfortunately.
What did you say? Say it again.
I'm saying it's a great idea, but it never happened. Someone today said on your son's stream that if people would act in the courts accordingly, we would have power back. It was 20. We would need to have a 25%. Nope, it's enough if we would have 5% of people saying no to everything. 5% would be really enough to change any country. But do we have 5%? Not even close.
Hang on, let me do something here real quick.
You talking about 5% of the money, like physical money?
No, 5% of the people.
Okay. Gotcha.
You know, versus police, versus tax system, versus judiciary, and so on. Just say no. 5% of people is enough, but we are way, way, way far behind, unfortunately.
I'd like to think.
People can start with themselves, you know. Get rid of your fucking smartphone. Don't be part of enslavement. Get rid of this shit. Get old phone. I never had it. I never will. Start with yourself. You're looking for a savior. You are the savior. Start with the fucking yourself. That's the best choice.
Yeah, I don't plan on having mine much longer if I can help it. Mine's mainly, because I gotta
Get rid of it.
for
I'm telling you.
work is a big reason why. But
I don't know. I almost got like a feeling that all this shit's gonna go down here soon anyway.
If you have smartphone, don't go with it outside. Leave it at home. Get the old phone. If you need to call someone, send text. Old flip phone. It's enough, really. Leave your smartphone home.
Well, it doesn't bother me when I do leave it at home. Some people freak out if they don't have it by their side, but occasionally I'll forget it and I don't go back to go get it. I could care less. It actually feels like true freedom.
Yeah,
exactly.
It does, but then you find yourself looking for it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of a little bit.
You always think about checking it. And I'll tell you what, if you forget and don't, that fucking thing will make a noise to make you look at it. I guarantee you every time, man. Like if you ain't looked at it in an hour, it'll make some kind of a bing, 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 and you go, oh, what the hell is that? It's conditioned you. There again, the bells, different bells ringing all the time. Seatbelt bell, left your lights on bell, doors ajar bell. I mean, everything's a fucking bell. School bell, changing class, 2 short rings, 3 short rings is a tornado drill. All this other dumb shit. You're just trained like a dog.
It's probably a frequency, like I was talking about last night with that movie, that witch that she'd ring the bell, and it made everybody go crazy. And then I said that same noise. It sounds exactly, that bell sounds exactly. If you have an iPhone, that ding, because you'll hear it in the store, and everybody will look at their phone like it was theirs.
Remember the experiment? That was Pavlov's dog, and they always were ringing the bell before there was food provided for him. And so,
that's a Mandela effect. Did you know that?
What's
really?
That?
Yeah, that's we all associate that he rang a bell. Now it's that he did did a whistle or some shit.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
he said, "Oh shit."
Okay.
Yeah,
thinking.
Yeah, it's always
okay. Fair
really
enough.
Weird shit, man. Yeah,
it was freaking bell for me,
Yeah, same here. Same here.
No, Sal, we just all misremembered together.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
that's what it is. Because of a pop music song.
Yeah.
Well, let's go ahead and get into this thing because this is pretty good. Anyway, this is Cyrus Schofield here, and this starts off with a good introduction as to who the guy is and whatnot. We'll stop it from time to time to make comments, and I'm sure Janos will have a lot to say.
This is Cyrus Schofield, and in 1909, the prestigious Oxford University Press published his reference Bible, a King James Bible filled with commentary and footnotes on the same page meant to explain the text. But interestingly, Schofield had no formal theological training to speak of, no seminary degree. In fact, Schofield was a pathological liar, a fraud, and a deadbeat who abandoned his family. And yet somehow, this guy was able to create one of the most influential books of the 20th century, a book that convinced generations of evangelicals that the return of the Jews to Palestine was a fulfillment of biblical prophecy, and that unwavering support for the modern state of Israel was part of God's plan for the end of the world. So how does a man like this end up shaping the faith of an entire nation? And in this video, we'll explore this, how he got so popular, and we'll explore many of the claims of his funding and his hidden connections. If you know anything about this topic, you may have recently seen clips floating around social media like this.
And I realized, oh, okay, your Bible was funded. The notations in your Bible was funded by Zionists.
The Rothschild family hired this dude, this pastor in the Deep South. He made a new version of the Bible called the Schofield Bible.
People will often speak about Schofield and his funding with honestly, an unwarranted degree of certainty, which isn't to say that he wasn't a puppet funded by somebody. He most likely was. But the actual evidence isn't quite that direct. It's much more like the JFK assassination. Throughout all the documents and files, at no point does it say, we, the government, killed John F. Kennedy. But when you look into it, even for a little bit, it becomes blatantly obvious that the government is complicit to some degree. Likewise with Schofield. There is no document that flatly says, my career was crafted to push the Zionist political agenda. But there really doesn't need to be, because when you follow the breadcrumbs and follow the money, the elite social clubs that embraced him for no reason, and the legal troubles that mysteriously vanished, along with him skyrocketing into fame despite having no legitimate credentials, it becomes blatantly obvious that someone behind the scenes was guiding him. And we'll come back to that shortly, because it is a bit ambiguous when these connections actually start. So, to understand just how unlikely his success really was, and to get a sense of when these connections might have begun, we need to start at the beginning. Also, I'm going to play this sound anytime something suspicious or weird comes up in the story.
There's that fucking bell again.
Yes, everywhere, yeah.
Telling you,
Even
man.
on this video, damn it, they're gonna train us with a bell on here.
Life.
There's something to it.
Cyrus Schofield was born in Michigan in 1843, coming of age right around the time of the Civil War. When he was 17, he enlisted to fight for the Confederacy, but after less than a year, it's unclear whether or not he was discharged or he deserted. Regardless, he left the army and turned up in St. Louis. He had family there, his sister lived there, and Schofield's sister had married into the wealthy and influential Poppin and Shoto family. Sorry if I mispronounced that. They were some of the main French Catholic families that founded the city, and her husband, Sylvester Poppin.
Oh yeah, I remember this. He got in trouble for forging checks from his sister. His sister was married into a wealthy family, and he was forging fucking checks on her account.
Because they are all scumbags, yeah.
Yeah, he was a scumbag.
Interesting fact about Schofield, that he was a student, and for him the mentor was John Darby. I don't know if you know about him.
No, it'll come up though in this, I'm sure.
All right, so John Darby, he mainly was a founder, let's say, of modern dispensationalism and the futurism. And this fucker was living in the Ireland. What was the fucking name? King? Yeah, King. It was Kings County, and today it's Offaly County nowadays. So, and the English people, USA, it's all connected, you know. And this guy was studying in the Trinity College in Dublin. So that's the connection between them.
Was president of the St. Louis Board of Assessors. So, needless to say, they were pretty powerful and influential. And thanks to this connection, Schofield was able to land a job apprenticing in his brother-in-law's office, where he began learning the ins and outs of land law, deeds, titles, and land grants. And this was pretty significant for Schofield because the Poppin-Shoto family held numerous vague land claims dating back to the French and Spanish colonial rule. And with America increasingly expanding westward, those old claims suddenly became extremely valuable if you can take all these vague, ambiguous boundaries and convert them into segmented, sellable property. And that's where Schofield came in. So it seems like this wealthy French family saw Schofield as useful, and in the aftermath of the Civil War, in an increasingly united Anglo-American nation, it might be beneficial to have a Anglo-Protestant face who could represent their interests. In other words, it seemed like he was being groomed to be a frontman for this powerful French Catholic family. And it's during this period that Schofield reportedly made trips to Washington, likely acting as their representative. And what he did there, who he met there, and the doors these connections may have opened, we really don't know. But this has to play some role, because his social and political position continued to rise. But anyways, around this time, he married his wife, who was from another prominent French Catholic family, which further cemented his place among this elite. And a few years later, in 1869, his family moved to Atchison, Kansas, where Schofield began apprenticing in the law office of John J. Ingalls, a man who would soon become the Kansas state senator. Now, let's talk about Ingalls for a second. What's important to note about John Ingalls is that he was an abolitionist transplant from New England who had come to Kansas in 1858 to sort of weigh the scales in favor of the abolitionist cause. This was right in the middle of what's called Bleeding Kansas, which was essentially the Civil War in Kansas that preceded the American Civil War, which involved violent clashes between Kansans over whether or not the state would enter the Union as a free or a slave state. And things got pretty violent and bloody, and this conflict notably culminated with John Brown's raid in 1859, where an abolitionist named John Brown attempted to seize a federal armory, supposedly to arm and start a slave revolt. This event is often cited as the main catalyst that kicked off the Civil War. John Brown was being likened to Christ himself by abolitionists, or he was likened to being a sort of martyr. But what people don't know about this is that in reality, Brown's raid was orchestrated, armed, and funded by a group of wealthy Bostonian abolitionists known as the Secret Six. Now, John J. Ingalls, although not a formal member of the Secret Six, came from that same radical abolitionist world in Massachusetts, and he came to Kansas during this period to tip the balance permanently in favor of Boston politics. And with Schofield now working under him, Schofield was likely grafted into this network. So when he arrived in Kansas, he wasn't just getting mentored by a random attorney. He was being brought into a network that had already demonstrated its willingness to use any means necessary, including violence and deception, to achieve their political goals. Schofield had to have had some sort of support at this point, and the evidence for this, or some kind of backing, becomes clearer when you look at the logistics of his move to Kansas. The Schofields moved with a household of 7 people.
Damn.
And a law apprentice, someone working in a law office, can't afford to support that alone. He had to have received some sort of support or been grafted into something by this point. And you'll see why in the next couple of minutes.
It's like, how is he supporting a family of 7?
With SNAP.
He was making, right? Yeah, he had SNAP benefits. He had EBT parchment was what they were using, a little card.
Through his work with John J. Ingalls, Schofield began to rise in Kansas politics, and eventually Schofield, through his connections, was able to become a Kansas state representative. And from this position, he then helped John J. Ingalls become the senator. This part's pretty interesting, because when the election rolled around, as Kansas was preparing to elect a new U.S. senator, the incumbent, Samuel Pomeroy, had fallen out of favor, and people wanted him out. And Schofield was asked to give a suggestion for who should run, and he was given the assurance that who he picked would win. And Schofield reportedly suggested Ingalls to run against him. And when they had the election, after all the voting, initially it looked like Pomeroy had won re-election. But as he stood up to give his victory speech, one of the legislators publicly revealed that Pomeroy had offered him a $7,000 bribe, which is a lot of money back then. But he apparently bribed him in exchange for his vote, and then the election was thrown out, and then Ingalls ended up winning the election. Now here's the thing. We already kind of established that Kansas and just the western states in general were pretty corrupt at this time. So a lot of political deals involved money changing hands to some capacity, right? The revelation of Pomeroy's $7,000 bribe was on.
Now, this is the kind of bullshit this guy was involved in before he even set about with this Bible. You see, this is the kind of background of corruption and graft that he was mixed up in right off the bat.
Honestly, less a shocking scandal and more of political theater to tip the scales in favor of Ingalls. Because in that same room where all of this was exposed, Pomeroy had paid out several of the legislators, right? A lot of them received money from him. The more interesting thing to notice is not the fact that Pomeroy had paid off the legislators. The more interesting question is, why was he exposed and swapped for Ingalls? We'll leave that there for now. But after being accepted to the Senate, John J. Ingalls nominated and elected Schofield as a district attorney, which brings us to his downfall and the more mysterious and intriguing parts of his life. So, Schofield's time as DA fell apart almost immediately. Like within 6 months, he was forced to resign under a cloud of corruption charges, mostly about bribery. Ironically, he accepted a bribe from Pomeroy, the former Kansas senator. He allegedly bribed Schofield into not prosecuting his bribery case, which is pretty funny. But it is also kind of weird because, as we said earlier, everyone was bribing everybody. The West was corrupt. So, and this is my
Nothing
opinion,
changed.
it can't be
The
for no
same.
reason that Schofield was run out, because he likely could have pulled some strings to get this smoothed over, but it didn't happen. And by the end of 1874, Schofield had abandoned everything. He fled Kansas and left behind his wife and his children, left them poor, and then he vanished from the public life. Following this, Schofield just disappears from the historical record for 3 to 5 years. From 1874 to around 1879 to 80, there's effectively a gap in time where we don't really know what he was doing. His official biographer, Trumbull, claims that Schofield returned to law practice in St. Louis, but this is kind of unlikely, and Schofield probably lied to Trumbull, because Schofield was never admitted to the Kansas or Missouri bar. He couldn't legally practice law on his own, or he couldn't have a law office. So where was he? What was he doing? We don't really know. And the only reason why it says 3 to 5 years, right, why there's a sort of ambiguous gap, is because where he does pop up in the historical record is for charges of fraud, essentially writing false checks and forging his sister's signature multiple times in that period. It was also alleged at the time that he had served some jail time in Canada. But regardless, this period remains relatively ambiguous until his supposed conversion.
So it's the same thing like with Duffy, right? He was a scam artist and shit and a grifter, and then he became a reverend or something, you know? The same thing as Duffy.
Sort of. Something along those lines. It almost is like they had a template for all these senators and congressmen all these years, you know.
So since his early years, he was scammer, he was prick, and he was trying to be lawyer. So he was just following his path because all lawyers are pricks. So that they attracted to this shit.
He was a bad guy, man.
It might seem mean, honestly, to say supposed conversion, but I think once you hear the details, it's fine. Around 1879 or 1880, it's alleged that Schofield had undergone a dramatic conversion to Christianity, being led to faith by a man named Tom McPheeters. Now, who was McPheeters? So, Tom McPheeters was a successful and respected evangelical businessman from a prominent St. Louis family, a man who had a reputation for being both deeply devout and very discerning, only working with the most capable and reputable attorneys in St. Louis. Now here's where this gets weird. Schofield claimed that this conversion happened in his own law office, and that McPheeters came in for legal counsel, after which they spoke about the gospel, and Schofield decided to become a Christian. But there's a problem with this, because as we established, Schofield wasn't a licensed attorney at the time. So, 1, why would he have a law office? And 2, why would a careful and reputable man like McPheeters seek legal counsel from Schofield? Additionally, Schofield claimed that he was 36 years old when this happened, which would place the conversion around 1879. But this is also the same time when he was dealing with the fallout from his fraudulent activities. So he presumably, he converted and then continued to commit fraud and evade the courts? That doesn't sound right. Additionally, it was also interesting, around this time of his alleged conversion, a St. Louis newspaper reported that a forgery charge against Schofield had been dropped due to lack of evidence, and the report went on to praise Schofield as a gentleman who had held positions of trust, completely whitewashing his prior fraudulent activities. Which rightly leads us to suspect external hands were crafting a false narrative to pave the way for his reemergence and for his re-entrance into the public eye. After all, if this was a genuine conversion experience, why was he still neglecting his abandoned family, right? Why didn't he go back to his family and make things right? And also, why didn't he make things right with the law? Why was he allowing these mysterious benefactors to solve his legal problems?
He was paid.
This is all confusing and ambiguous, but what we do know for certain is that by 1880, Schofield had somehow become connected with Reverend James H. Brooks. So Brooks was one of the most prominent voices in American evangelicalism at the time, being especially known for his strong stance on biblical inerrancy and for popularizing dispensational prophecy in the South. His views were really similar to that of John Nelson Darby and the Plymouth Brethren. And he is reported to have had an immense influence on Schofield, who would later refer to Brooks as a, quote, father in the faith. And it was under Brooks's mentorship that Schofield began to absorb this dispensational framework that would later define his work. Brooks was also instrumental in bringing D.L. Moody to St. Louis for his 1879 to 1880 evangelistic campaign, and through Brooks, Schofield was introduced into Moody's inner circle. This is the weird part here, right? So barely a few months earlier, Schofield was writing false checks and committing fraud, and now he's becoming a part of D.L. Moody's evangelism crusade. If you don't know, D.L. Moody is the guy in evangelicalism, right? He was incredibly popular. He was like the Billy Graham of that day. He was the most famous evangelist at the end of the 19th century. And yet, somehow, despite his shady past, lack of formal training, Cyrus Schofield found himself being one of Moody's key associates. This is really suspicious and weird. Why was he there? How did he get there? This is really weird, considering the turnaround. He goes from fraud to presumably a Christian, and rather than going back to his family, who he abandoned, instead now he joins D.L. Moody's evangelism campaign. This is weird, right? And it's especially weird when you think about the money, too. So these campaigns, they weren't paid positions. They were basically freelance, unpaid ministry, and you had to cover your own living expenses and travel and food. Yet somehow, Schofield was not only allowed into helping out on the campaign, but he was able to afford his own provisions and board. This is weird. How was he supporting himself? Also, how did he ingratiate himself into this group so quickly? So much so that by 1882, Schofield was given a license to preach and was given a local congregational church to be the pastor of, less than 3 years after his legal troubles. And he was given this despite having no formal education, no theology degree, no seminary training. In fact, he would lie about having a doctorate in divinity. The timeline of this is just absolutely insane. It makes no sense. Most people spend years studying before entering ministry. I went to a Bible college. I've seen how long it takes to do that. Schofield went from like a disgraced fraudster to licensed pastor in under 3 years. That's ridiculous. Right?
Sounds like Duffy.
Now, as I said earlier, it's like the JFK assassination. Nowhere does it say we killed JFK. But when you just look at these connections, it's obvious someone was funding it, right? The timeline is insane. And you see these little snippets all over the place. Like in 1901, Schofield was preaching a sermon at Moody's Church in Chicago, and he casually mentioned something about, when I'm in London, as if that were just like a normal thing, like he goes to London all the time. There's no public record of him going to London prior to writing the Schofield Bible. So who sent him to London? Why was he there? How does he afford going on transatlantic trips like that? And yet somehow Schofield, ignoring the fact that he somehow was able to become connected to D.L. Moody, the most popular evangelist of that day, ignoring all of that, he had just all this money that wouldn't make sense. Schofield had multiple homes that he would just live at while he's traveling. Schofield clearly had some kind of connection, which is what leads us to talk about the Lotus Club. This is probably the most significant and most telling connection. This one is the source of the, quote, conspiracy theories about Schofield. Because really, it's not a conspiracy theory. It's just the most blatant of of the evidence when it comes to the money aspect. So in 1901, Cyrus Schofield was admitted to membership in what's called the Lotus Club, which was an elite invitation-only social club in Manhattan that catered primarily to journalists and artists and cultural influencers, right? It wasn't just like any drinking beer with the bros kind of thing. This was a big deal, right? The membership included former presidents like Grover Cleveland and Teddy Roosevelt, and media figures like Joseph Pulitzer or Mark Twain even. It was a lot of big names. And somehow, Schofield was nominated to be a part of that, right? This is prior to making his reference Bible, which came out in 2009. He was admitted in 2001. And there's no way that he could have afforded it. There was membership fees and there was annual dues plus the cost of meals and rooms. There's no way Schofield would have been able to afford this from his ministry work alone. And his membership was sponsored by a wealthy man named Horatio Nelson Fraser and seconded by John Elderkin, who was a key figure within the club's committees. Here's the kicker, though. One of the members of the literary committee that had to approve his admission was a man named Samuel Untermeyer. Untermeyer was a powerful New York attorney and political figure and committed Zionist. So this is where the source of the theories typically come from. But they're pretty blatant, honestly. Untermeyer was so powerful that he allegedly, but he did, blackmailed President Woodrow Wilson into putting Brandeis on the Supreme Court. So let's think about this for a second. A man like that was in charge of allowing Schofield into this elite club where he gets to rub elbows with all these powerful men. And up until this point, Schofield's literary output consisted of what? Like tracts and pamphlets. He wrote Rightly Dividing the Word of Truth, but that's it. There's no logical reason why these elite figures would find Schofield to be a acceptable fit for their exclusive club, unless of course his theological work was seen as being able to serve some other purpose. And the fact that Untermeyer accepted Schofield in this group kind of indicates why, right? This was a man whose life was completely removed from the circle Schofield normally ran in, yet somehow Untermeyer accepted Schofield into the group, right? So why would a committed Zionist support the membership of a hick Bible teacher? Well, it's obvious because the theology, with its emphasis on a future restoration of Israel, was extremely helpful in getting fundamentalist Christians to back Zionist interests. His theology provided the religious justification for supporting the establishment of a Jewish state in Palestine. Now, this isn't just to pin all of this on one man. That's dumb, right? The theology was such that all it took was a little push in America for it to spread like wildfire. There wasn't this massive overarching thing, but nevertheless, there was a little bit of manipulation in it. Which brings us to the actual Scofield Reference Bible. Now, the development of the Scofield Reference Bible was financed by a small group of wealthy men. I don't know if they were Zionists or not. Honestly, it's a little ambiguous. And everything about it, it's kind of mundane, the parts of him creating it. There's some stuff, but it's not as interesting. But what's more remarkable is the fact that the Bible was published by Oxford University Press. This is probably next to the Lotus Club. This is one of the more absurd parts of the Scofield Reference Bible. Oxford Press is one of the world's most prestigious academic publishers, right? They didn't publish study Bibles, especially ones with such a specific theological agenda behind it, and especially one where the theology was closer to that of a cult rather than that of being mainline Protestant. This was a massive, credible, respected institution that published this book. They didn't publish stuff like this, right? There's no way they didn't do it without some strings being pulled or without some ulterior motive. Which is why it's important to note the way that Oxford University worked. Prior to the 1950s in England, there were only two main universities, Oxford and Cambridge, with Oxford being the preferred university for aspiring politicians, which is why it's not a leap to assume that Oxford University Press would function as the sort of propaganda arm of the British Empire in order to present people in politics with the sort of range of opinions that are within the British imperialist orthodoxy. This is why it's also important to note that the second edition of the Scofield Reference Bible came out in 1917, the same year as the Balfour Declaration. Make whatever you want with that. But it is kind of clear in that in regards to the Balfour Declaration, the Scofield Bible in England helped to prepare the way for Britain's Middle East imperialist ambitions. But as far as the child connections that you hear about, I looked, I can't find anything. Now that might just be me not finding it. So if you know anything, just comment down below and tell me whatever links you have or whatever you got. But apart from that, this has just been a general overview over the life of Schofield, adding some context for a lot of the theories you might hear about the funding of the Reference Bible and of just his weird career and the weird money involved. But hopefully you found this helpful.
Here's that guy.
And as I mentioned earlier, there's no document at any point that says, we hired Schofield to promote a Zionist agenda. But when a disgraced fraudster becomes the most influential Bible teacher in American history, and all of his legal troubles disappear, and he's accepted into an elite literary club by a committed Zionist and one of the most powerful men in American politics, the pattern becomes pretty obvious. So with that, if you want any more information over Schofield, but more specifically dispensational theology and the theology that came from his reference Bible, you might find my video about Christian Zionism to be pretty interesting. Thanks for watching. God bless.
Yeah, good presentation, but he didn't mention about the few crucial things, like for example that he was Mason, and I don't know why he skipped it.
Mason.
Sorry,
I said maybe the guy that put out that video is a Mason.
Hey, can you put the link to that in the chat? Some people
I just did.
Oh, okay, cool.
He was what was the name? He was part of the Order of the White Lotus, and probably now you can find it was fictional. No, it wasn't, because they created reference to the game. What was the Chinese sounding name?
Ching Chong?
No. Pao Sho or something like that. Pai Sho, something like that. I can't remember. 3 letters and 3 letters. Anyway, it sounds like a Chinese. And that's what you will find will be info about that they had the means of communication through the game. That was their system, so to blur the reality. It was total bullshit. So to discredit, anyone who will be talking about this, because plenty of people believes in the Scofield Bible, so they don't want to let them know that he was Mason. The same as King James, the same shit. And Calvinists and Protestants. That's what I said before in the chat. The Calvinists, Protestants,
James, bitch.
Yeah, fucking Mason. So yeah, One thing is, which is very hard to reconcile for some people, but not for me, because I can see straight through it. He believed in the triune God, the Holy Trinity.
Okay.
He believed that the man is a trifold being with a body and soul and the spirit as in the image of triune God. So now, how the fuck you can reconcile that he believes in triune God, but he promotes Jews who do not believe in the triune God? You see this connection? Total bullshit. It was fucking planned.
I found out you're not supposed to refer to that as Big Daddy Jr. in the spook. It's just Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. That's just all you need.
Did he mention about his name? His name is Cyrus, yes? And Cyrus means son.
Wow.
Yeah, that's important thing as well, not mentioned. So yeah, plenty of things related to this guy.
Here we go. Got a nice little buzz going on here tonight.
Oh, don't listen to Putin about nuclear weapons. He's just bluffing. When the world ends, you won't be able to say, you asshole, he wasn't bluffing. I've been watching this close up, and damn it, we're close to disaster. In 2017, Putin said something very, very interesting. By then, he had dealt with Clinton, he had dealt with Obama, and he had dealt with Trump. He said they come into office with interesting ideas, but then the men in the dark suits and the suitcases and the blue ties come to visit them, and then you never hear of those ideas again. What he was talking about is the military-industrial state. That's who runs the United States. The same companies that are operating in the slaughter in Gaza are the companies operating in Ukraine. And it's our big tech industry, by the way. This is our first AI wars, and they're trying out their weapons right now. The idea of our militarized state is keep the public stupid. This is important to understand. And yes, There's another little detail. The CIA has a track record of dozens of coups, assassinations, overthrows of governments of other countries. That's its main role. Utterly stupid. It solves nothing. By the way, in the ranking of stupidity, I put the British #1. And it doesn't matter whether it's Mojo, Boris Johnson, or Starmer. They have the worst imperial mentality of any country in the world. They were at it the longest. They still think they run the world, and they're fools. The U.S. leadership had the idea, we are the exceptional country. What we do is the greatest. No one could possibly rival us. And what's happened now is, how is China a larger economy than the United States?
Okay, we're going to get into Europe because I'm a member of the European Parliament.
I had a conversation with President Macron, and I said, Mr. President, he said, you're absolutely right. But in public, he said exactly the opposite. And until today, he says exactly the opposite.
I started a political party in
good.
Cyprus. Direct democracy is the name. And it's to practice kind of what Switzerland is doing, sometimes to put votes through an application. And this is kind of the concept, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts.
I think it's...
It's what?
How is China a bigger economy? Slave labor, maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. See, the only thing we really know about China is what we're told.
Yeah.
Yep. But what we know is that all the things have been shifted to China because cheap labor. So now they are keeping by the balls the world because everything is produced in their country. So anything you want to build in your country, you have to get parts from China. Not all of them, but some of them.
Majority,
yeah. So they play the long game. They don't fucking plan for 10 or 20 years. They plan for the 100 years ahead because some stories from there, yeah, Art of War, and they use it. They teach children based on this book. So they are good strategists.
They got all kinds of underground tunnels and shit too, man.
So do we.
Yeah, show me one country where you don't have tunnels. fucking everywhere, man.
Well, they're not for you. They're not for you. I mean,
of course not. Of course not.
Huge, like, you know, the size of Manhattan and shit. Under the earth. This is
crazy.
What
you mentioned in the video that a military industrial complex controls America. It's true, but all of the agencies, alphabet agencies, and the military across the world is controlled by Jesuits. All the banks, all the music industry, film industry, and so on, by Jews. But Jews and Jesuits work together. And people saying, it's the Jews, it's Jesuits. No, it's fucking both of them.
Yeah, it's each one of them things are fingers of the same hand around your throat.
Yes, exactly. You know? But people don't see it. That's bad. Because they always blame only the Jews or only the Jesuits.
Fingers, but they work together.
Yes,
even though they don't realize they don't even have to realize they're working together. It's all
they're working because they have deals.
Yeah, kind of like our government. The Democrats and Republicans, the Democrats, and whatever you want to call them.
Democrats and the Republicans.
Yeah, they're all one thing.
I am glad to see this spell wearing off of people. Where, you know, people are calling them out on it too. Every time you say something about the bullshit Israel's doing, they're going, oh, what do you got against Jews? You're an anti-Semite. Wait, I didn't say anything about Jews. I said something about a country. You're the one bringing up Jews. You know, people are seeing through that shit. And this little exchange, I think it could have done without this other girl, but, you know, Chunk Yogurt, I haven't liked him very much in the past, but I got to say, the Young Turks have been going hard against this Zionist bullshit and calling out the bullshit about Gaza. And I think I'm finding myself going, God damn right, Chunk. You know, I'm like, wait a second. I never thought I'd hear myself say that. But this was interesting because he calls them out. As soon as they start doing that, they say, oh, you're against Jews. Watch.
Why is it that every time someone wants to criticize Mamdani, it immediately comes back to the Jews and the anti-Israel movement instead of actually talking about his viewpoints, which is that
nobody said Jews. You just said it. You always do that. We say Israel, you say Jews. We say Israel is a government Please don't make it about Jewish Americans. And you come back and go, you have to make it about Jewish Americans. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Is Israel a Jewish state? Yes or no?
First of all, okay, so Saudi Arabia is a Muslim state, and you can criticize it all day long. There's no special protection.
Because what you're doing is you're decoding language
that
to
calls
mock
themselves
American
a Jewish state or a
and to
Muslim
say that we
state.
should not be here and we should.
Coded language. That's another one they got. You're using coded language. You said one thing, but what you really meant, because of your microaggressions and your pronouns and stuff, these fucking people
should not be in existence, and that you would be happy for other people like Mandami to
No,
use
I want Israel to be
No longer
safe.
Nothing of the sort.
Nonsense. You're totally lying. It's very normal for a Miller to be completely and utterly lying.
Quite frankly, I'm really sick and tired of this racist, bigoted rhetoric that comes from people like you against my husband, against my family, and my children. I am raising Jewish
Racist
children in
and
this
bigotry.
country. In which
Bigotry
you
do not work anymore. Doesn't work anymore.
Piers, I'm going to be done with this if you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators just for the sake that he will not let
hang on.
speaking.
Casey, to be clear,
Casey,
to be clear,
he inserted a line that says
Casey,
the
hang
Miller's
on.
lie. Is that not coded language for therefore we are Jewish?
What?
Come on, Pierce. Where are you? Where are you standing?
God, you're so
Casey, if I can speak,
Everything's your
if I
shield
can
is
speak, listen.
fire him, cancel him,
Cheng,
America.
Cheng,
Oh my God, Israel's
Cheng,
feelings have been
Cheng.
hurt. Why don't you work for this
All right,
country?
can we try and get
this country?
Yeah, you are a guest on my show, and I appreciate you coming on the show, and I like you coming on the show.
And I'm saying
But,
the
you know,
two other
I
guests
think
on
you're
your
able
show
to.
are welcome to participate in these anti-Semitic attacks that is so permeating on CNN and MSNBC.
This is so ridiculous. I'm sorry. I have to jump in here. Somebody criticizing you personally is not an anti-Semitic attack. If somebody says that you are lying, that is not an attack on Jews. That is an attack on you. And just stop hiding behind identity. This is all the snowflake behavior that the right is supposedly criticizing the left for, that you're simply repeating here. Yes, Stephen Miller is a destructive force in American society. That is not an attack on Jews. That is no reference to his identity. This is an attack on him individually, and just deal with the merits of this case.
Exactly. Man. I do that though every time. Oh, you don't like Jews. Man. Well, that's beside the point.
Why is it?
If they do anything wrong, any one of them, if you expose it, oh, you're anti-Semite.
Yeah.
They're a paid agitator. They're another form of it. They send them all. It's always, well, not always, but a good majority of the time, a lady generally, and they have their necklace with the Star of David on it a lot.
I know.
But they always send them out on all these shows. What's that?
Staff of Remphan.
Yeah.
Molech, Moloch, Satan.
Jew Star.
Yeah.
That's what I call it.
How dare you? You're a bigot, racist.
Oh, no, okay.
It's a hexagon anyway.
Antiseptic.
Okay.
Bigot.
Yeah. Yeah, that shit don't work on me. I don't care. They can say whatever they want to. I've seen these Globers try to run that dumb shit on me. I'm like, okay, well, let's get back on the topic here. Crazy son of a bitch. Look at you. Oh, this is pretty cool. The NASA Space Hero Exposed. You'll like this.
So in this big live stream Q&A with Commander Nolan Pierce, the famous space hero, a student named Aria leaned toward her mic and asked, "Commander, why can't we watch a real non-stop full-circle video of Earth from above? Just one clean shot, no cuts, no strange lens." The whole room froze. Nolan's smile dropped and he looked off stage. A woman in a shiny jacket shook her head fast. Her badge read, Visual Effects Department, not space, visual effects. Nolan looks nervous and says, "It's very hard to show everything at once." Aria replies, "But we film sharks underwater in 4K. We live stream roller coasters with no problem. So why not the one thing everyone wants to see the most?" All of a sudden, the big screens behind Nolan started glitching. Then, just like that, a document marked classified appeared, revealing a top-level secret about a space mission. People in the room gasped. So, the woman in the silver jacket rushed over and tapped on her tablet. Suddenly, the glitch just disappeared, replaced by this cute cartoon planet, sort of bouncing around. Security moved in quickly and Nolan squeezed Aria's hand as they started pulling him away. As security escorted Nolan away, his voice lingered in Aria's mind. He said, "The sky, isn't what they told us. Pay attention to what they never show.
What they never show? They never show
So in this big
stars on
That's
the
right.
black sky. That's
Right.
what's important.
Oh, so this guy here's got a theory on what.
And I have been racked.
God bless it. He says he has a theory about it. What's going to happen with the food stamp thing? You guys think there's going to be big food stamp riots and shit, or do you
No.
think it's a TikTok bullshit?
TikTok bullshit.
Well, they will be doing what they're doing, they'll be robbing. That's it.
There might be a few. I mean, there's probably going to be some dumbasses out there that go and do it, but the majority of people ain't going to do it.
Well, I just wonder if maybe there might be something happen where, remember how like some of these groups are funded by certain sources and shit to go out and do mayhem and whatnot.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll, I don't know. That's
Like
all
BLM,
together a possibility.
Antifa.
Yeah, like BLM and the rest of that dumb shit. Where'd they go? Where did BLM go? What happened to them?
I think we know.
Patrice has a case in a court because she defrauded the money, and she
Yeah.
was always saying that she hates white people, but she bought the big house in the white neighborhood.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now she's on Snap. No.
And she
Probably.
said herself that she is trained communists from her own mouth. That she was trained.
Trained Marxist.
Yes,
trained
exactly.
Marxist.
Mhm.
Well, I wish her luck in her endeavors, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think she'll just, as soon as she's got a little taste of money, she go on, till she needs more. Because she was caught embezzling a lot of that money.
Yeah, her whole family was involved.
Where's the Antifa? Do they have like clubhouses and shit, or how does another Antifa know where there's an Antifa at to hang out with?
They have meetings, they have chat rooms, and they are coordinating.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Where though? I never
chat rooms on the Discord. Sometimes they have personal addresses. In the previously Skype, now it's called Teams, I believe.
You know that if they're on Discord, it's being monitored. So
Well, they do it the same way as like Roblox and shit, like because they'll have them.
But it doesn't matter if it's monitored because they are set up by government. So
I don't think there is any such thing as Antifa. I really don't. As far as an organization, I think there's idealists that have their own idea of what it is, and they just want to LARP and dress up in black and do shit. But
on the bottom, yes.
I don't think there's any kind of coordinated club or group or anything.
There is because they are created by the government. So I can't remember who said it, but someone said that in the future there will be Nazis who will be fighting supposedly Nazism, but they will be Nazis themselves, and they are.
Well, I don't know. It depends on what's your definition of a Nazi.
State, everything with the state, corporations connected with the state, with the government.
So actually, what it is, it's nationalism.
Yes.
Okay.
Everything nationalized.
That's an idea. Okay. So nationalism doesn't necessarily mean the government itself. It's the nation itself, and the nation is comprised of the people. So that's where the nationalism comes from. The socialism part was actually not governmental socialism, but more of a sense because of the nationalism that we are all Germans and we have to try to help each other out. We need to lift each other up. That's what we need to do. It was not required. It was just kind of expected that all Germans would work together. And as those that didn't have as much as the others, that kind of thing. It was more of a, I don't know. It wasn't political socialism.
But it was still everything pushed by the government from the top to bottom, not from the bottom to top. And mainly it was based on Benito Mussolini, everything in the state, nothing outside the state, nothing against the state, which was fascism. And then it was Nazism. That was the connection.
So as far as Antifa goes, wouldn't you say that they're like all one the same? Like the same thing with TPUSA. It's a bunch of agents that go out and herd the sheep. They trick all these protesters, all these no kings. They
Yeah.
trick all the mentally retarded kids into doing all these things for them, and then they call them a group, Antifa, whatever, name your group of people. There's no real, I think they give these groups of people a name, but there's no real like organization, so to speak. It's just a bunch of government agents, that are sent out, like Erica Kirk and whoever else, name your person. But
boy, ain't that a shit show.
But even this freaking protest.
I gotta find that. Hang on, I'm gonna show you that picture.
All right.
Go
even
ahead.
This protest, no kings. It's stupid because I can't remember which amendment is that, but it was pushed by the England that you cannot have kings, barons, and titles, princes, and so on in the USA. So if there's protests, no kings, you cannot have kings in the USA. So what the fuck?
Well, it's not even that. It's not that they don't want no kings. They just want their king. And it's like, who are you even talking about to begin with, like you're saying? But yeah, it's just.
So demon rats, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild that that's how you know that the sheeple are still out there alive and well, and there's many of them. I mean, look at that line that they had at Ole Miss the other day for all that big hoopla of an event they put on, so, or a MAGA rally, or take your pick. I don't know. You can pretty much, it doesn't matter which side you're talking about. They all seem to gather a Camilla Harris freaking rally or something. They all seem to get bussed in from somewhere or whatever.
Did you see that one?
Yeah.
Perched up on top. Yeah, right. Listen, there's a lot to that really looks kind of really bad. I mean, you got to figure Charlie Kirk, the Christian evangelical guy, goes around Turning Point USA. If he was alive, what would he say about her dressing up like that and going out on stage? So
I don't know.
Are you trying to be Sandra from the fucking Grease? You better shape up because I need a man, right? She looked just like that brought out of Grease.
We're not so sure that he's gone yet either.
No.
But
nope. I have 3 minutes video, saying about everything what was related to the Charlie Kirk. I will post it, you can watch it. It's very short, but it's very good summary,
I have a feeling that I don't know how many years, a few years down the road, we'll see somebody pop up and be like, man, that looks a lot like Charlie Kirk. Same with Epstein. You'll see these people later on down, when they kind of fade away out of people's minds a little bit.
Yeah.
And somebody will pop up as another famous person and be like, man, just like we were watching that Schofield thing, and I saw somebody mention this, like, he looks like Ted Turner. I was like, he does look like Ted Turner.
Yeah.
And I'm not one of those people that everybody looks like everybody, but there is some definite questioning to be had about some of that stuff.
It's bad.
Okay, I have a theory. Might be right, might be wrong. Hear me out. So basically, our country is about to be in a massive crisis. And I have been racking my brain trying to think, what is this all about? Hear me out. The execution of Charlie Kirk. He's the harbinger. What's a harbinger? A harbinger is a person or thing that signals, foreshadows, or gives an early indication of a future event. They're a precursor to what is about to happen. I think Charlie Kirk was that precursor. And this might not totally correlate, but why is it called Turning Point USA? Turning Point USA? Is there going to be a turning point in the USA soon? Probably. Anyways, this lapse of food stamps that aren't going out in November, that's never happened in modern day history, it's going to start from fast food all the way to the banks. It just is. Did you know there was a bunch of states that accept SNAP and EBT for fast food? Well, there are. And a lot of disabled, homeless, 60 plus people depend on this. Now about the banks. Now in January, the U.S. Federal Reserve left the climate risk focused central bank coalition. You might be thinking, well, that's just people not wanting to go green. Now this was just in September, people. Bank reserves at Fed fall below $3 trillion amid liquidity drain. Banks are going to collapse. They're going to fall. And this is how it all started. People, when we get this lapse in food assistance, it's going to be a lot of angry people out there. There just might be a revolution. Or we've passed the window of revolution and now we must deal with the fallout. This is all for entertainment purposes. long game on us, America. Get to the grocery store as soon as you can. And come November 1st, you better lock your doors and windows every night before you go to bed. Just saying. Just saying.
Nah, that's all right. Come on in.
Yeah.
The blood of sacrifice.
Make a lot of noise when you're doing it too.
Halloween.
Because it might be the last noise you make.
It's very possible, man.
If I go, I will go with the Big Bang.
You go with what?
With the Big Bang.
The Big Bang?
Yep.
Big Bang Theory.
Oh, not the Big Bang Theory. But that's a good one. I like it.
I've told you all about this before because I heard, what was her name? Cynthia McKinney talk about this. She was in the House of Representatives, and she didn't last there very long because she would not sign that unconditional pledge to Israel and all that shit.
Yeah.
So Marjorie Taylor Greene certainly gets to talk about it, though.
Since I've become a member of Congress since 2021, we have voted on 22 resolutions for Israel, 22 of them. All kinds of resolutions, denouncing anti-Semitism, supporting Israel. We voted on 22 of those. We never vote on resolutions proclaiming great things about America or defending certain Americans or defending Americans in general. But we have voted on 22 resolutions in the House defending Israel.
How many of you voted yes on?
I don't know my exact record. The last one I voted no on, and then the one before that I voted present because I just started getting sick of it.
Well, that's kind of it. I mean, I've always noticed this, certainly in the last, I don't know how many years it's been, a while, where Republicans in the Congress are, always talking about Israel. I'm not against Israel. I've always liked Israel, so I haven't really noticed it. Okay, fine. Love Israel, love any country, whatever. But it feels like something has changed. Like why? And clearly it has for you. What is that thing?
Well, I think here's the situation. It's coming to a point where it's so obvious all the time in everyone's language, the social media posts they put out, the statements that they make. They have to proclaim Israel. They have to proclaim their faith and loyalty in Israel and how they, Israel is our greatest ally. And it's a statement that has to be made over and over and over again to the point it's becoming like, wait a minute, what about our own country? What about our own people? And we have so many problems here in America. And we talk about this all the time, $37 trillion in debt. Just like you and I were speaking before, our kids' generations. My kids are 22, 25, and 27. And our children's generation, they can't afford rent. They can't afford to buy a house. They can't afford insurance. They can't buy a new car. They can't find a good paying job. They're living month to month, paycheck to paycheck, credit card bills stacked up. And they literally look to the future going, how am I ever going to realize the American dream? And it seems hopeless for them. But then in Congress, everyone is chasing and pursuing and proclaiming their loyalty to a foreign country.
That's it. That's it. And it's called the American dream because you have to be asleep to believe it. George Carlin told us that 30 years ago. Come on, y'all. Catch up. God dang it. Man. The fuck, we got a lot of people joining. Here I am. Renee Bernays is here. Yay. We got them scattered from all around the world in here. And what the hell he calls it that? You ever watch George Galloway?
I don't think so.
He's pretty cool. He's a Scottish dude. And boy, he just calls it out like it is. And he calls it the mother of all talk shows.
What's that on?
It's on YouTube. You can find it. Yeah, George Galloway is pretty cool.
Since
I don't know. Is there anybody in the audience watches? Yeah, Godzilla. He is brazen too. He is brazen. Oh yeah. Did you know? Okay, so did you know that Kash Patel's girlfriend works for Charlie Kirk's company?
It wouldn't surprise me.
This is some bullshit. I didn't know this either. This is conflict of interest, right? Holy shit.
So I don't know how I almost, I missed it. Well, I'm catching it. So
How this was overlooked went over my head, I don't know. But let me ask you this. So the FBI directors, well, I don't know what you want to call her, but definitely don't call her a honeypot. That'll catch you a $5 million lawsuit. But call her whatever you want besides a honeypot, because she's definitely not a honeypot. The girl that's 20 years younger than Kash Patel, who he met when he was still married to his wife, and she's a Turning Point ambassador. So the man, the FBI director who's covering up the Epstein files and is kind of responsible for overseeing the investigation, or the FBI was on site within 8 minutes of the Charlie Kirk assassination. That guy, the FBI director, who also refused or threw a hissy fit and literally called a meeting at the White House with the vice president to discuss why Joe Kent, Tulsi Gabbard's number 2, was looking into to see if there was any foreign intelligence ties to the Charlie Kirk assassination. That Kash Patel, his girlfriend is a Turning Point ambassador. So his girlfriend literally works for the company, for Charlie Kirk's company. There's no way that this man should not have recused himself. If there's any person that was destroyed this investigation and gives Tyler Robinson's defense the highest probability of getting a mistrial or getting this guy off, it would be because of Kash Patel. I just don't see how that we go see a courtroom and how any of this actually plays out. But I can't believe I overlooked the fact that Alexis Wilkins is literally a Turning Point ambassador and Kash Patel hasn't recused himself. How in any reality did the man who found the screwdriver that disassembled the rifle that was put down Tyler Robinson's pants before he jumped off the roof, which had to have happened in less than 16 seconds, how is that man still overseeing this investigation? Because, you think about it, everybody goes, well, Ryan, the Utah Valley Sheriff's Department is the one who's actually doing the investigation. It's not the FBI. Okay, well then why was Kash Patel butthurt that Joe Kent was investigating foreign intelligence ties in the Charlie Kirk assassination? I can't make it make sense. Can you make it make sense? I don't know, guys. It's getting fucking weird. It's actually not getting weird. It's always been weird. But shit stinks. That's all I know. Happy Halloween, motherfuckers.
What's that guy's name? Aaron Mate or something like that?
Yeah, Ryan Mata.
Oh, Ryan Mata. Yeah, I think that's the guy. I'm pretty convinced that Witsit goes in his closet and steals all his sleeveless hoodies from. They got the same freaking hoodies. But anyway. But yeah, so Candace's husband works for them too.
Yeah. See, this is all tight. Yeah, here's the thing what Janusz was talking about when he first came on. Oops.
So, Stephen Miller, Kristi Noem, Marco Rubio, and other regime officials are all moving into housing on military bases, as reported by The Atlantic. The article talks about them displacing generals and the prestige of living on base, but I want to point out that they are all running to secure locations. That means that they feel the threat of civil unrest is so high that they need to hide away on a base protected by military police. I think this is another canary indicator for you as to how bad things are about to get. 42 million people are about to lose their most basic lifeline, their SNAP benefits that allows them to buy food. Remember, when the big stupid bill passed, I said we're going to see a huge uptick in this stochastic violence by people who are just out of hope. And that's what we have seen, an increase in political violence, an increase in random mass shootings. And the damage of the Republican bill hasn't even taken effect yet. Now we are about to see their effects taking place. First, it's everyone losing their food benefits, not being able to eat. It's all the federal employees that are working right now not getting paid. Next year, millions are going to be paying hundreds to thousands more per month for their health insurance. I wish I had something good to say. I wish I had something positive to leave you with, but I don't. It's going to get worse. That's why these regime officials are moving to their secure military bases, because they're in the driver's seat and they know that they are about to drive us off the cliff. And my message for everyone who's about to get royally fucked, remember, it is the billionaires and all of their enablers in this regime who are causing the pain. Remember that.
Ain't no doubt too, man.
You call her Kristi Noem.
Noem.
Would you make fun of me if I went and got my little tiny mic with that fuzzy thing on top and talked like this the whole time?
So, can you run this video about Charlie Kirk? 3 minutes, 21 seconds, I believe.
All right.
It's a pretty good summary.
Did you see that? I think it was right before we came on here. Brian,
Oh, yeah, I have this.
Brian from High Impact. Well, I think it's the Disturbing Illusion, either one, High Impact Flicks. But he put that out about that cop that came to that lady's house and he tried blaming her. He said that they had her a license plate. He said that she stole a package, right? And he said, we have 100% proof. Well, she had all this proof of other videos of places she was at her house at the time, at somebody else's place at the times that they were mentioning, and she had all her data from where her phone was located. But this cop came to her house and said, we got 100% proof. We got your license plate. And I'll just play it. We can play the video later.
Yeah, go ahead. Put did you put it in the regular chat?
I will here in a second.
All right. Yeah, because I'll do it after this video, because that
Okay.
I don't have access to that chat while this video is playing.
All right.
Let me see here. Where am I at? Oh, I'm lost. Here we go.
So let me get this straight. Charlie Kirk had no coroner's report, no church funeral, no burial site or grave, no official death certificate. Why has no official autopsy?
What's up with that audio, man?
Yeah, it's a bit fucked up.
It's really terrible.
Sorry for that.
I think I have this already on my X thing or something. Anyway, we'll bear through it.
Been conducted, nor any findings released, no ballistics report, not a single eyewitness on the record, and an award-winning widow already taking over his show. Why was the entire crime scene destroyed within hours, erasing vital evidence? They tore down everything, including the Dairy Queen. Why were there no paramedics on the scene? Why was Charlie Kirk's body removed and illegally flown out on Air Force 2? Why did Donald Trump pardon a Navy SEAL killer whose shadow looms over this case? Why was the stadium mysteriously booked by Turning Point 4 months before his death? How was a massive high-tech stadium memorial produced in only 11 days? Why do multiple women publicly appear as Erica Kirk, raising questions of identity?
Holy shit, that is terrible. I'll find the other one. It's got to be on here.
Find the better version.
I'm ready for
Copy's back.
That's terrible.
I'm ready for Strange World.
Yeah, I posted on the chat on the YouTube link to the Disturbed Illusion, Brian. So yeah, about this woman.
Yeah. Or did you already post it? I'll do it here in a second.
Yeah, I did. We can post.
Oh, you did? Okay. I gotta use my fuzzy mic. Sorry, or nobody can hear me.
There we go. I got a better one. Let's do that again.
Getting on you?
A little bit. I meant to puke, but I didn't. Excuse me.
So let me get this straight. Charlie Kirk had no coroner's report, no church funeral, no burial site or grave, no official death certificate. Why has no official autopsy been conducted, nor any findings released, no ballistics report, not a single eyewitness on the record, and an award-winning widow already taking over his show? Why was the entire crime scene destroyed within hours, erasing vital evidence? They tore down everything, including the Dairy Queen. Why were there no paramedics on the scene? Why was Charlie Kirk's body removed and illegally flown out on Air Force 2? Why did Donald Trump pardon a Navy SEAL killer whose shadow looms over this case? Why was the stadium mysteriously booked by Turning Point 4 months before his death? How was a massive high-tech stadium memorial produced in only 11 days? Why do multiple women publicly appear as Erica Kirk, raising questions of identity? Why are there no birth certificates for their children? No names revealed, no faces ever shown? Where is a video of Charlie playing with his kids at a birthday party, or picnic, or any other family setting? Why do Freemasonic and satanic symbols surround this tragedy with chilling precision? Interesting that the gun was found on property owned by Palantir. Isn't it interesting Kash Patel fired many of the heads of the FBI in that area days before the shooting? Do you find it interesting that Charlie sold his house 8 months ago for $5 million? If the father of your 2 young children was just brutally murdered for the world to see days ago, do you leave them home with the nanny while you go on podcasts grinning from ear to ear? Is it not curious that a 17-year-old first-time Donald Trump beauty pageant contestant won, and now Trump appointed a top attorney general woman who has no experience, who was also in his beauty pageant? This is only a fraction of the clues and evidence on this psyop. For those of you brave enough to look at the evidence while removing the preconceived emotions, the conclusion is undeniable.
All right, quiet on the set. Roll sound.
Green can.
True woman show.
White curb can eat. Fade up music.
Bravo!
Not enough acting lessons.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
Hey, Erica, I know there's been a lot of talk of you being a man, but I'm not convinced. And I hear there's an opening, so call me.
Notice those tight ass pants you was wearing, baby. What's up?
I'll be the judge of that.
What is up with that, yo? Yeah, these people are really flipping shit about this guy in New York. Have you noticed that?
Which
What's
guy?
his
New York?
name? Mamdani.
Oh yeah,
They're really losing shit.
they're all the same. ain't they?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, look, the ones that are claiming there's a big Islamic fucking takeover in America are the ones that are taking over America, you know, and that's these small hats. And the fact that he won't bend over and kiss ass to Israel, especially for a city like New York, they're just losing their shit about this. And I think it's great. I like watching them lose their shit. What do they call that? Kvetching?
Mm-hmm.
I love to watch them kvetch, man.
Any mayor that can't say they will go to Israel someday as mayor should not be mayor.
Where would you go first?
The Holy Land.
Go to Israel.
Fourth trip to Israel. First trip to Israel.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
It is so offensive.
If you're wondering what kind of world considers putting America first as offensive and not pledging loyalty to a foreign country as disqualifying for office, welcome to the Zionist world.
It doesn't matter if you're Jew or Muslim, the same shit.
Yeah, I was going to say that about Utah. Utah has been, they mentioned in that other that, you know, about the Freemasons and whatnot. Well, what else do we have? What's Utah known for? What are they known for?
Or the yes.
Yeah.
I totally
Starts with an M. Starts with an M.
Yeah,
Mormons.
Mormons. I kept wanting to say Masons.
Well, very close. I mean,
Yeah.
it's basically the same thing. It's like Mormon church, or it's like Mason church or something. You know, I mean, they follow in the same shit, and consequently, the CIA and other intelligence agencies, it's been like a recruiting area. Some of these universities, it says here, Utah has long been a key recruiting hub for intelligence agencies. Given Tyler Robinson's background and public record, could he have been connected to one? Who was involved, and why can't we get straight answers? So this was pretty good. This was with Ian Carroll and what is this girl, Elizabeth Lane. And for some reason they had, did you ever see this guy, Jesse on Fire?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't he? I mean, he's in the tank. I mean, he's in the tank. He's still in that left-right paradigm fucking bullshit, you know. And he cracks me up because he gets really emotionally involved in this shit. He really does. He really lets his emotions get him. But what I think is funny is you look at him, the way his ears are. He's like a. I'm not trying to make fun of him because I think he's all right and everything, but he just reminds me of like an elf or something.
Might be.
Yeah.
Might be making cookies on the weekend. You never know.
Might be, man. I don't know.
I put that link in the regular chat too.
Let me get over to it. Hold on.
In the matter of Utah, and there is connection. What was this this cartoon with the Antichrist? Remember the title? I forgot.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
iPad Goat. I remember now. iPad Goat. Right. So when you see the scene when the Antichrist is on the boat, he's exactly on the depiction of the Bryce Canyon National Park. No one made this connection. It's exactly how it looks like, because there was depiction from the boat, and if you look for the pictures on the internet for the Bryce Canyon, you will see exactly the same.
Huh. We'll have to get into that. This is the. We'll show this, and then I'll get that one you just brought up. That's wild. Got 1984. It's getting really bad, man. Did you see where they had that one guy locked up for a Facebook meme?
Which one? In England?
No, here in the United States, man.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. They said they tried to construe it that he was threatening violence at a school and shit.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Oh, my God. And they got so much public backlash because of all the people who made videos about it that they dropped the charges and let the dude out of jail. So cool. He should sue the fuck out of him. That's what I would do.
NSA is right here. I'm in Utah right now. NSA is like not very far away from me. What could have happened in this guy's past? Maybe he was recruited because we know these agencies are looking in the universities. Literally every former officer that I know from CIA was recruited by a professor. That's happening. So is it possible that he was recruited, something happened, and he became more profitable as a patsy than as an operative?
There was this video that came out pretty early on by a woman named Laissez-Faire Lounge, I think on Instagram, that spread pretty well. And she was talking about this CAI program at USU, which is not UVU, Utah State University, Utah Valley University, two different colleges. All colleges in Utah are great recruiting grounds because the Mormon faith is a great recruiting pool for the CIA and the other intelligence agencies. And we know that very well. You know, they're good kids and they don't do drugs and they follow orders. There's this whole very advanced cutting edge program at the school that Tyler Robinson attended for one semester that is the cutting edge of CIA and intelligence training, basically. It's the Center for Anticipatory Intelligence, and it's like bringing intel training into the new era is sort of how it's framed. And it's founded by a bunch of CIA agents and staffed by a whole bunch of ex-CIA agents. And it's very open and forthcoming about what its point is. And so Tyler Robinson, with these great scores, gets a full ride scholarship, goes to school out there, and he's not in that program, but he's at that college where those programs exist. And then 1 month later, he drops out on his full ride scholarship and all that. And he later turns up going to like an electrical engineering apprenticeship at a little local community college, apparently. I haven't really verified what records are showing that and how long he was there for. And to me, all of that is like the fingerprint of an intelligence recruitment of
Absolutely.
You are an extremely smart person from a generally military supportive family that you have some experience with that kind of world. You go to school where there's a whole bunch of CIA recruitment happening, and 1 month later, you drop off the map or whatever. I don't know. Lance Twiggs definitely does not fit that profile. Lance Twiggs fits the profile of the psycho kid that you can find and be like, oh, this kid is someone that we can access, manipulate, coerce, push over the edge, off the deep end, whatever. So it's a weird pairing of two profiles of people that fit very specific roles in, shall we say, like deep state, like deep black intelligence operations.
Wow. Yeah, you know, that is some crazy shit with Mormons and whatnot too, man. What a strange religion. You see them going around here sometimes doing their I don't know what they call it, recruitment or ministering or whatever it is. They always wearing their little short sleeve shirt and slacks, riding around on bikes.
There's a lot of comedians that are former Mormons. Like Kurt Metzger was a former Mormon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I have the Book of Mormon over here. I haven't looked at it real good yet, though. Yeah, they just give those fucking idiots carte blanche, like to the Pentagon and shit. I said that during that 12-day war between Iran and Israel back in June, the IDF officers were inside the Pentagon issuing orders to U.S. military leaders. What the fuck, man? I'm glad more people are speaking out about what the fuck is actually going on, because this is just insane, man. This is nuts.
During the 12-day war, such as it was with Iran, the U.S. and Israel versus Iran, bombing on all sides, during that short conflict, IDF officers in the Pentagon, foreign military officers in the Pentagon, and by the way, they're not the only foreign military officers in the Pentagon, to be clear. There are NATO officers, they're from other countries, British, but there are a bunch of Israeli Defense Force officers in the Pentagon that week. And during that week, ask anyone who works at the Pentagon, they enraged American Pentagon staff by just barging into meetings, giving orders, making demands, and nobody did anything about it. How can a foreign military officer barge into military headquarters, even if invited, but barge into a meeting and start demanding, we want this, we want that, you need to get on this? Huh? The more you allow that kind of deeply unhealthy behavior, the more you're going to get. And that's exactly what has happened. Because of the weakness of our leaders, we have incited predators in a foreign country to take advantage of us. Oh, that's such an anti-Israel thing to say. It's not anti-Israel at all. It's a demand that the people whose job it is, whose sacred duty it is to defend and represent us, our leaders, both at the Pentagon and all throughout the U.S. government, that they do that they stand up and defend us against all potential threats, against all foreign countries to the extent they need to, and that they do not prostrate themselves before a foreign nation. That's just basic. Why have a government, especially a strong government, if it's taking orders from another weaker government? And that is the state of play. And it has been for a very long time. And they're not even pretending.
That's true. They just do it, man. They just do it. Hit that like button, everybody.
How's the Pentagon allowed to operate when they have failed to audit for the last 8 times in a row, but yet here we are. Let's give them more money, right? What would possibly happen? They wouldn't lose it or anything, right?
Well, how are they, this is the thing. It seems like they call the shots with their military, everything.
I think they call the shots on lots of things. pretty much running our country,
yeah.
I believe.
Oh, let me get over to that other too. Yeah, right.
I think the Pentagon is the top of the pinnacle when it comes to that kind of stuff. When you talk about elites, that's probably where they're at.
Oh, good evening, Slav.
How you doing, buddy?
Giannis?
Hello, how are you? Long time no see.
You got a sweatshirt now, too?
Yeah, I got a Super Mario sweatshirt.
Yeah, you had the shirt before.
Super Mario, yeah.
You upgraded.
I got both. Oh, yeah. For some reason, the grandma thinks that I'm really hung up on Super Mario, so she's buying me this crap.
Well, I got on my Blu-ray Caverns.
Nice
shirt.
You got to get a Lucky Haskins shirt. Get one of his.
No, he's got some.
I don't know. What I'm saying.
Snowman, I see you are single. You're looking for someone to mingle?
Oh, yes, of course.
Yeah, no, I just thought it'd be funny. Yeah. I keep trying to look up the male version of a harem, okay? Because I was out and there was some blue hairs. That's what I don't necessarily. So there's 2 types of blue hairs. There's the woke people. They're the blue hair, whatever, woke's stolen word. But there's those type of Karen blue hair woke people. But then blue hair also is an affectionate term for old people, okay? Yeah. There's blue hairs, right?
Yeah.
Don't tell me you're into
like a cougar thing. So anyways, I was showing off and there's a bunch of, a couple of civilized looking humans walking, a couple of couples. And I said, well, I wonder what the other version of a harem is called anyhow, because I think it was one good-looking woman and a bunch of dudes, right? And so, anyways, she cued it off right away, and fucking I started to laugh uncontrollably because I didn't think anybody cared what I said. But I'm looking up what the opposite is of a harem, and I can't find the word for it.
So,
And
how
I
many of the
could-
guys' numbers did you get?
Yeah, well, they weren't stepping out of line. She was in charge. Yeah, they weren't stepping out of line at all. But so that's the Mormon thing too, right? Is multiple women, like that's a part of their thing, their culture
That's
or
one
whatever.
of the that's one of the sects of Mormons, but it's small. It's kind of an offshoot. Is all. That's the first thing people go to is the bigamy or polygamy aspect.
Yeah, there was a couple of really key things. I forget what they are, but like there's a few
It's hard
things.
enough. It's hard enough taking care of one. Why would you want more? You know.
Good question. Yeah.
Well, it's for repopulating Mars. You need to be able to have multiple females for every one male if you want.
I'm practicing growing potatoes in my shit out in the backyard right now.
Yeah.
And you just grow them in the garden like cabbage, like they do the Marines, and just spray water, and they just grow right out of the cabbage patch. Get the Cabbage Patch Kids again. That's what we need. Wherever they came from.
Right on, man.
Yeah, that's where they came from.
They came out of a test. Yeah.
What kind of fucking weed they got up there in Canada, bro?
They got we got I got some Canadian weed right here.
Whoa, man.
Let's fire this.
Oh, listen, here she goes. She's got to fight with the other dog every time when they got to go outside. Every time she's got to fight with Peanut.
It's a great video when husband does not allow his wife going to meet her friend, but he solved the issue. It's 25 seconds, but it's pretty good.
I want to know one thing real quick. How many Canadians come here? Put a 1 in chat if you're Canadian, because I feel like it's like 3/4 of the chat.
Why are they all defending me? Yeah, I can't read it.
Oh, I don't know. I just have noticed lots of people usually are from Canada. And
like,
listen, New York City got flooded, man. Brooklyn was flooded today. I mean, up to the to the tops of doors on cars and shit, flooded. I don't know, man.
In Simpsons,
they
said,
did it, man.
I think Cartman, Canadians, I don't have square head.
With the mouth that opens up from it.
That was pretty good episode.
That's how that's how you know who's Canadian on that show, is that their head separates from their mouth. I don't know. That's a thing.
How's this statement for a breath of disturbing illusion reality?
You know we have cameras in that town, and you can't get a breath of fresh air in or out of that place without us knowing, correct?
I've been talking a lot on this channel about Palantir and the surveillance police state and flock safety cameras. Check this out, where cops were 100% convinced that this woman had committed a crime to the point where they went to her house based on what they thought they saw from a flock security camera, and they were ready to arrest her. We're going to go through this in its entirety, then we're going to back it up and fill in some comments along the way. And you really need to share this with your friends and your family members, because I'm going to suggest something that you might be able to do to protect yourself from the Palantir flock safety security surveillance police apparatus they're setting up against us. Let's start from the top.
A Denver woman says that she was wrongfully accused of theft after police tracked her car using flock cameras.
Now, the camera system has been a point of controversy over privacy concerns, but it's been a praised tool by police who've used it successfully to track down suspects and make arrests.
But after the system was used to accuse her of a crime, one woman is warning everyone to have cameras of their own. Fox 31's Anna Kuhn sat down with her and has her story tonight. Anna?
Hey guys, well, the Columbine Valley police chief has since voided the court summons against this woman, but she says she never should have been accused in the first place. She says her car was never at the address where that package was stolen.
You know we have cameras in that town, and you can't get a breath of fresh air in or out of that place without us knowing, correct?
On September 27th, the Columbine Valley police officer came to Chrisanna Elser's door and issued her a summons to appear in court, accusing her of stealing a $25 package in the town of Bomar. The officer said he had doorbell video of the theft and had tracked her car in the area using flock cameras.
It is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here unless I was 100% sure.
Zero doubt, 100% sure, says the law enforcement agent who's supposed to be serving and protecting.
100%. Zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here.
Using flock cameras.
It is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here unless I was 100% sure. 100%.
The only problem with this case, she wasn't there, and she had the evidence to prove it. Dash camera video from her car, a log of her location from Google Maps, and doorbell video of her walking into her tailor's house when the package was stolen.
He just kept telling me that any evidence I had wasn't worth it.
Because you have not been honest with me, so I'm not going to extend you any courtesy of showing you a video when I don't need.
But I can show you videos.
No, you cannot.
After a few weeks, Elser was able to get in touch with the police chief, who wrote her in an email, quote, "After reviewing evidence you have provided, nicely done by the way, we have voided the summons that was issued." But Elser says she shouldn't have needed to prove her innocence and worries flock cameras can paint a picture police will rely too heavily on.
They need to be used properly and be used with caution in a conversation versus we're now going to use this to accuse anybody and everybody.
We did reach out to the police chief for comment, but didn't hear back. Meantime, Elser is advising all of her neighbors to start collecting their own digital evidence. She says you never know when you might need it.
I know many of you already know what I'm about to say here, but in case some of you don't, these right here are not going to be used simply to keep you safe. They are here to control you completely. Partly because of these, we have now entered a guilty until proven innocent society. And make no mistake about it, the safety of the people will always be the alibi and justification of tyrants. From this day forward, you can just take it as a foregone conclusion that anytime some government official or political parasite says, these are only going to be used to keep you safe. They're only going to be utilized to nab criminals. You can take that as code language for, we're only going to use these to control you completely and surveil and track every single step that you make. Every step you take, I'll be watching you. So let's just take this from the top.
A Denver woman says that she was wrongfully accused of theft after police tracked her car using flock cameras.
In other words, a woman was considered guilty and she had to prove her own innocence. Not you're considered innocent until you're proven guilty. This cop comes to the door with no proof at all.
Our system has been a point of controversy over privacy concerns, but it's been a praised tool by police who've used it successfully to track down suspects and make arrests.
You know what justice demands? Justice demands that 9 guilty go free rather than 1 innocent man be punished. It's the concept of Thomas Jefferson, who said, I'd rather have dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery any day of the week. It's called the tranquility of servitude versus the animating contest of freedom. And make no mistake about it, we are entering a dangerous age in human history where we need to watch our own backs and create our own digital footprint just for occasions like this right here.
The system was used to accuse her of a crime. One woman is warning everyone to have cameras of their own. Fox 31's Anna Kuhn sat down with her and has her story tonight.
Hey guys, well, the Columbine Valley police chief has since voided the court summons against this woman, but she says she never should have been accused in the first place. She says her car was never at the address where that package was stolen.
You know we have cameras in that town, and you can't get a breath of fresh air in or out of that place without us knowing, correct?
Yeah, correct. We know that. This cop seems to be happy with the fact that we live in an Orwellian police state. Can there be a more complete police state, not being able to go in or out of an area without people like this knowing who you are, where you went, what time you were there, who you were hanging out with, when you left? At this point, George Orwell is clawing the inside of his casket thinking, man, why didn't I think of that?
On September 27th, the Columbine Valley police officer came to Chrisanna Elser's door and issued her a summons to appear in court, accusing her of stealing a $25 package in the town of Beaumar. The officer said he had doorbell video of the theft and had tracked her car in the area using flock cameras.
Is locked in. There is zero doubt. I wouldn't have come here unless I was 100% sure. 100%.
His 100% certainty turned out to be 1,000% wrong. Go figure.
The only problem with this case, she wasn't there, and she had the evidence to prove it. Dash camera video from her car, a log of her location from Google Maps, and doorbell video of her walking into her tailor's house when the package was stolen.
Now you got to wonder how many people have been accused of something they weren't guilty of, but they weren't able to prove where they were and when they were there like this woman did. How many people are sitting in jail right now because of a false accusation by a cop based on what he thought he saw from a flock security camera, or based on 100% misreporting by the flock safety system? All this crap is beyond alarming and dystopian.
He just kept telling me that any evidence I had wasn't worth it.
Because you have not been honest with me, so I'm not going to extend you any courtesy of showing you a video when I don't need.
But I can show you videos.
No, you cannot.
What kind of investigation is that? Nope, we know you're guilty, but I have documented video proof that I was in this place, not in that place. Can I just show it to you? No, you cannot. What kind of investigation is that? That's no investigation at all. You're basically the judge, jury, and executioner. You're supposed to bring the evidence, and you didn't even try to show her because you didn't have the evidence, but she had the evidence, only you didn't want to see it. Personally, I think this cop should be fired and jailed. And if they keep him on the force, then every jury from here on out should see how this guy lacks 100% of any kind of credibility.
He needs to go to pound you in the ass prison.
No kidding, right?
Where he needs to go to. He'd like
Waka flocka, what the fucka? Their stupid ass cameras.
They're just cuff guys. The way they train them up here is cuff them, process them, let the courts sort out. If we fucked up, then we fucked up. But we have procedures. Like, this is how they talk. We did our procedures, and fucking if they're innocent, then that's the court's job. It's not my job as a cop to fucking figure it out. That's what they say. That's what they think.
Yeah, they're just automatons.
Not been honest with me, so I'm not going to extend you any courtesy of showing you a video when I don't need.
But I can show you videos.
No, you cannot.
After a few weeks, Elser was able to get in touch with the police chief, who wrote her in an email, quote,
I can show you a video. No, you cannot. What kind of BS is that?
After reviewing evidence you have provided, nicely done by the way, we have voided the summons that was issued.
You know why this police chief was impressed with their investigation? Because he's never seen any of his guys do any kind of investigation. Matter of fact, this is probably the first time as a cop he's ever seen an appropriately done investigation.
Yep.
After reviewing evidence you have provided, nicely done by the way, we have voided the summons that was issued. But Elser says she shouldn't have needed to prove her innocence and worries flock cameras can paint a picture police will rely too heavily on.
They need to be used properly and be used with caution in a conversation versus we're now going to use this to accuse anybody and everybody.
We did reach out to the police chief for comment, but didn't hear back. Meantime, Elser is advising all of her neighbors to start collecting their own digital evidence. She says you never know when you might need it.
And that is the answer. But unfortunately, that's a double-edged sword, too, because when you use these camera systems, they can be hacked into, and like Ring doorbell cam, they can be sent to the police department. So while you think it's keeping you safe, there's a whole lot of people using your own cameras against you. One thing you really should do, though, is probably get yourself a dash cam and probably a body cam so that anywhere you go, you've got recorded detailed information, and if you need it one day, evidence that will prove your innocence. Because when it's the state's word against yours, unless you have video evidence to prove that you didn't do what they're accusing you of doing, it's going to be a really, really tough road. I did a lot of research on body and dash cams, and I'll leave the link in the description below if you want to use the ones that I'm using. And I've got Amazon affiliate links, so if you do make a purchase, it does benefit me a little bit. But hey, do your own research and feel free to get whatever dash cam or body camera you want. Just make sure you cover yourself. I really appreciate you guys being here. If you like these videos and you want to support my channel, don't give me any money. Keep your own money. Times are hard enough. But if you want to help, just like this video, share this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon. If you want to support me some more, just maybe become a channel member or grab a hard-hitting conversation starting shirt from the store. Either way, just protect yourself. We're all in the same boat. None of us is greater than all of us. If you've got knowledge to share or wisdom to impart, I'm sure we can all benefit. Appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.
That ain't no shit too, though. I mean, it's coming to a time where you're going to have to like prove, where you're at and everything else like that.
Yeah. And he's the kind of dickhead, not just cop, but the kind of dickhead that is committing those very same crimes probably and going around and locking everybody else up for him.
Yeah.
Because, he's a projector. But he said you don't have no proof. You can't use video, So it's like, what the hell, man? Like, I got 100% proof. It's like, okay, you got about the opposite of that.
This was another one that Brian did. It was pretty good on X, about Jim Brewer. This is pretty good. I haven't seen it too.
He must have cloned himself, man, the way he puts out material.
Huh. Yeah, he did. He went to the cloning center.
Hey guys, can you hear me? Yeah, the girl lives like 15 minutes away from me. I should go over and console her.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
Who
right down the road.
The girl from that video that we just watched, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's right down the street from me, dude. It's like Dumpy. He's right down the street from me. I'm in the hot spot right here. Yeah.
You'll probably get in trouble. They'll pick you up on a plot camera.
Take a dash camera with you.
Right?
Body camera.
Listen, these things, I think they got facial recognition in them too, man. I really do.
I think when it's all said and done, like all these cameras are just all going to be connected for Palantir. Whether it's a Ring cam, don't matter the brand, don't matter where you put it. Eventually, they're all going to go online for the same and one purpose.
Yeah, well, it's the patented, like they have so many variations of this device, whether you call it the God's Eye from a couple movies of Fast and Furious or whatever, and then, the Batman device where if you could just hack every cell phone, and they're using Wi-Fi as sonar now. Like, I'm pretty sure this is common knowledge. They can use Wi-Fi signals as sonar now. I don't know if you know that, but they've been doing that for a long time. Heard that. Oh, well, you can look it up, man.
I'm kidding. I know what you're talking about.
They do. Okay, well, they do it at universities and shit and show off and show you what they can do with technology, right?
Yeah.
But
it's so crazy.
I just feel like they already know everything they're going to know. And now they're not looking for pawns. Like, they're looking for, rooks and bishops and guys like perhaps us that might not be kings and queens, but, we're not riding a fucking horse either, right? But at the same time,
they're marking the glitches. They're marking the glitches in the matrix. I am a glitch in the matrix.
Yeah, well, are you on a list because you're talking to me, or am I on a list because I'm talking to you?
Yeah, probably.
Why does it matter?
That's not an answer.
Yeah. So why is there a list? No, man, that's the real question.
Yeah, right. This is so Wild Moonshadow came in here and the room's dark, so I didn't see her at all. And she was like right next to me. I looked down and she's like right next to me looking up. And I was like,
what you got for me?
She's got the
softest my voice.
She got the softest hair. It's a lot different than any other German Shepherd I've ever seen.
She has short hair or long hair? I've seen pictures, but I can't remember.
Well, it's like medium hair.
Oh, okay.
She's got a pretty fluffy butt though. I always call her that. I call her fluffy butt.
I got a couple things I got to take care of. I just saw you guys talking about Denver, and I wanted to hop on right quick.
Right.
I'm right in the neighborhood, dude. And I'm going to be doing a review on Jaren's career on what we call it, these platforms tonight. It's a Halloween special.
Oh my God.
Trick or treat.
Well, he fired the first shot. He actually went in on a big platform and actually called me stupid personally. So,
wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know anybody.
Hasn't he called us all retards?
Yeah.
I know. But I mean, he made it blatantly obvious that I'm stupid and I'm pushing the goalpost back because I want to go to the South Pole for some reason.
Huh.
I want to go to the North Pole. I'm after that North Pole now. I might even just experiment with it.
Well, you're closer than me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
you
well, what's been tripping me out, guys, is they have the 4 months or 6 months of fucking darkness up there. So
Yeah.
let's go film the darkness, man. I want to see that shit. That'd be cool.
That's when the vampires come out. Oh,
Yeah,
you ever seen that? Oh, that's
28 days or something. It's pretty cool.
no, 30 days and 30 nights or something.
Oh, yeah,
that
that's
was
what
Alaska
that's,
though, I think, but I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that same shit though. Yeah.
Well, a lot of the vampires fled north and into Canada and the upper reaches around that area because of the darkness. After they had that big battle with Abraham Lincoln.
Still, majority of them is in Israel.
They are like demons. They start getting really ugly as they age. They
Quite a
start
few in the royal family.
They all start looking really bad. But yeah, this took a lot too, because Brewer, he came out and said, "Yeah, man," he said, "the guy had me fooled." But I was like saying all that whole time, I was like, "Motherfucker, he told you what he is. He's told you what he is."
He was saying since a while.
He's talking about this. Yeah, no, he's
Since
not.
a while, he's exposing Trump. So, yeah, good that the Brian made a video about it.
Hey, Snowman Heron said she's willing to go with you, so you already got a team.
There you
there's
go.
a bunch of Canadians who won't out themselves in chat for me, so I know you got some other snow dogs you can take up with you.
Yeah, well, it's DJ Moon too. He always talks about Canada, but he talks about Quebec. He's like, "We have Quebec in Canada," and I'm like, "Pardon me."
But anyway, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I know, it's just funny. Yeah, it's like
I meant South Video.
There's Texas and everybody else, right? There's Texas and then there's everybody else.
I don't know. People don't have the same view of Texas as they used to. Yeah.
Not according to my brother-in-law.
My whole life I said politics is nothing but professional wrestling. I saw it when I was in Saturday Night Live. I would see politicians together. I would see celebrities together in a room. And I'd see the two politicians that were screaming at each other the night before and saying how much each side is so crazy. And I would see them drinking together, laughing together. I'm not going to lie to you. I supported him. And I'll go as far as say I voted. I haven't voted in my life. He got me.
All right, I saw this video on TYT Sports. It was recommended to me through the YouTube thing on the right, and the name of
it did get to it, and it got to a lot of people.
This video on TYT Sports was MAGA comedian turns against Trump, has a shocking moment of clarity. This is Jim Brewer. And of course, the Young Turks put a progressive Democrat slant to it. And of course, the progressive Democrats want you to be ruled and robbed, just like the Team MAGA and the Republicans want you to be ruled and robbed. But I want you to hear which is completely wrong because it's immoral. You wouldn't rob or try to rule and control somebody else. So why would you ask somebody else to do it on your behalf? But I thought it was really important to go over this because this moment of clarity that Jim Brewer has is expressed pretty well by Jim Brewer. And I've got a couple things to add to it because it seems like before he voted for Donald Trump, Jim Brewer and a lot of other people knew exactly what politics was, that it's the left versus right dog and pony show. It's the circus under the big top. It's WWE wrestling where the two wrestlers, present themselves as the protagonist and the antagonist, and everybody in the crowd gets all worked up because they get invested in this rivalry that's really no rivalry at all. It's just performance, which is exactly what politics is. But I want you to hear what Jim Brewer says about this, and then he went ahead and voted anyway. Check this out.
I'm not going to lie to you. I supported him. And I'll go as far as say I voted. I haven't voted in my life. He got me. My whole life I said politics is nothing but professional wrestling. I saw it when I was in Saturday Night Live. I would see politicians together. I would see celebrities together in a room. And I'd see the two politicians that were screaming at each other the night before and saying how much each side is so crazy. And I would see them drinking together, laughing together at charity events. And it was the first time where I started going, oh my God, how does the public, like that would, you got me hating over there, but you two are laughing in the corner, almost the way lawyers do. You know, that's another thing that was created. I sit there, you know what I learned?
So Jim Brewer is talking about personal experiences from being an insider and this famous person at Saturday Night Live, actually seeing behind the curtain them shaking hands and drinking a beer and sharing a meal and sharing a laugh. He saw this firsthand. It's not that somebody told him what politics was like. It's not that he read what politics was all about. He actually saw it firsthand. He saw the Republicans and Democrats acting on this side of the curtain like they're against each other. They're at odds. They have different policies and they want to take the country in a different direction. But then he saw on the back side of the curtain that it was all just a lie. It was all fiction. It was performance art. It was an act. He, of all people, Jim Brewer, knows that politics is the clever and deceptive art of using euphemisms, lies, emotionalism, and fear-mongering in order to dupe average people, everybody in the audience, into accepting and even demanding the chains of their own oppression. And yet, Jim Brewer voted for Donald Trump. Somebody who's just like Obama was obvious, just like Biden was obviously corrupt. Donald Trump was obviously corrupt. Obviously, he has no moral bearing. He has no moral compass, just like all the politicians. You couldn't even get more obvious than Trump, Biden, and Clinton and Obama. And yet he voted for him anyway. But he's not done yet. Listen to this.
By going to certain areas in Africa before they're demonized and colonized or freed. They need freedom. Weapons for them too. And don't forget, he did say, next we're going to Africa. Nobody mentioned.
Talking about Netanyahu, the war criminal, who basically owns and he's one of the controllers of the United States.
Mm-hmm.
AIPAC owns Congress. Just look at the interview with Thomas Massey. He just came clean with it. Yeah, they have AIPAC handlers. Foreign interests control our government. Have for a long time, at least since 1913, with the advent of the Federal Reserve, which, by the way, in 1913, the IRS also came online, and the income tax.
Hey, and look, out of 535 members of Congress and the Senate, there's only 10 that don't take AIPAC money. Think about that.
This Africa thing, though, so I think they might be setting up for like a conflict in Africa here with this guy and everything. Big picture.
It's already conflict in Africa.
Well, I can see there's always been, but
they don't take AIPAC money, but they take your money.
they don't know.
To Africa.
They don't have anything. They don't have nothing we want.
Africa has plenty of resources. Africa cannot unite because if Africa would unite, then America would be in trouble. France would be in trouble. Russia would be in trouble. China would be in trouble because there are plenty of resources in Africa. So they cannot unite. It's impossible. That's why they impose and they provide them weapons and they create wars between them. That's what it is.
That's what I was going to say. I think a lot of the small firearm sales would be to that region.
No, it's always
so
funny.
You've got Donald Trump, who's just basically working for the Zio International Banking Cartel, just like all of the Republicans, just like all of the Democrats, just like all of the presidents. They all work for foreign interests. They all work for the big money money makers and the money changers. And Jim Brewer knows this, and he voted for him anyway. My question is, what's going to happen, Jim, when somebody more slick comes along, who has better lines, who can sell you on freedom and liberty and the Constitution better than anyone around? If you fell for Trump, if other people fell for Obama and Biden, they're going to fall for anybody. They just have to be slick. They just have to be a smooth talker and articulate and freedom-minded. Then we're going to get them into office, and then they get to do the same thing that everybody gets to do when they become the president of the United States. Their fangs begin to grow, their claws come out, and then they reveal who they truly were.
Hey, man, we're really sorry for all the innocent victims. I didn't hear that. You know what? This was terrible. This was not fun. A lot of hospitals. You saw the videos because it's the age of videos. And people have seen it, which is why the whole world wants to arrest that man for crimes against humanity. But no one's going to do it because they're all in on it. They're all in on it.
No one's going to do it because they're all in on it. And Jim is right. And knowing this, knowing they're all in on it, seeing it firsthand behind the curtain at Saturday Night Live, them shaking hands, laughing, eating, mocking the public. Ha ha, we got one over on them. He participates in the corrupt system that he knows is corrupt anyway?
They're all in on it. And the sick part is people have already mark my word, there's money already invested on who's going to own what part of the Gaza Strip. Peace plan. Nobody apologized for death. Nobody. I didn't hear one person. I didn't hear one person go, my heart goes out to the innocent victims. Not one. I'm so proud of the soldiers. So proud. I don't know what any of it means. Can you play no more Trump after this? I'm not bashing Trump. I'm just.
Why do people say that? I'm not bashing Trump. They don't say, I'm not bashing Obama. I'm talking about Republicans. Republicans, Team MAGA goes, they don't say, I'm not bashing Joe Biden. I'm not bashing Kamala Harris. They don't care if they're bashing them or not.
Mm-mm.
So why do we make these disclaimers? Why do people like Jim Brewer I'm not bashing Donald Trump. You don't have to bash these people. Just tell the truth about them. Telling the truth about someone is not bashing them. The truth is doing the bashing. You're just doing the truth telling. It astounds me that anybody would let out a disclaimer when he just called Netanyahu a warmonger who everybody's in bed with, and everybody includes Donald Trump and Jared Kushner and J.D. Palantir Vance. Donald Trump showed you who he was in the first term, and you voted for him anyway? He oversaw and put his signature on the biggest power and wealth transfer, $6.2 trillion, with a $4 trillion Federal Reserve backstop. He increased the national debt $8.4 trillion above and beyond what Obama was able to do in 8 years, Donald Trump did in 4.
And everybody says that motherfucker a genius for doing that shit. He's a great businessman. Put us in that much fucking debt.
Yeah,
he's a great businessman.
Look, when people watch Hollywood production and there are two characters fighting each other, they know it's on screen because they're actors, yeah?
All right.
And everyone knows that the politicians are actors. What's the difference? Hollywood and government, the venue. It's all the same. But people somehow cannot see it, but they know they're actors. So what
you just change the sticker on the screen, that's all.
The art of the,
exactly.
The art of the steal.
Yep.
Giannis, do you have any off-key jokes for us today? Like
I do have some.
So
I have the good one.
yeah,
It's
well,
purple.
when we get to the joke aspect, and we'll start doing it. Thanks for the reminder, though, Snowman. It's coming up later, much later in the segment. Okay.
I will throw later. Let's finish this one. It's like 3.5 minutes left, and I will tell joke later.
All right. Man, you always do that. How is do you just like have like just a bunch of different random thoughts that like bounce around in your head or something? Or
Autistic. It's autism.
Actually, I'm
We
feeling
love
pretty
you, though.
focused. I'm just on coffee right now. It's tea, actually, caffeine. Yeah.
It's not much
So-
thinking about a lot of things at the same time. It's multifaceted.
No, Yanush's
Which is good,
jokes are like
It's
they're
good.
hard funny. Like he was saying about like he doesn't want to bash Trump or whatever. It's like he's only saying that because he wants to get all the Trump people to like him. You know what I mean? Like he's just like holding that line, that gray line, where you don't want to psychologically burn bridges, right?
That's
Oh,
exactly
yeah.
Go
The
on.
thing is that this guy was really deified. You know, they really deified Trump. You know, made him out more than he had a great little PR campaign, and that's the biggest thing about Donald Trump is he's got a big PR campaign. But that's all it is fluff. A tree is judged by the fruit that it produces. And what is it?
Still miraculous. His fame is miraculous, though. Like it's it's a big story. Yeah.
What the fruits of the Trump? Debt, supporting genocide, Second Amendment, less freedom. That's his fruits. So he's bad guy. And I say it again. I said it a few times. I was warning about fucking Trump before he ran for the election. When he said he's going for the first time for the election, because I knew this fucker, because Polish people were working for him, so I knew him very well. And you're a Democrat, you support Democrats. I don't. So why are you bashing Trump?
Trump was a fucking Democrat. Trump was a Democrat most of his life.
Yes, but later he was running from the right side, from the Republicans.
Well, he said on a interview way back in the 90s, he said that somebody asked him, have you ever considered running for president? He said, I don't know. He said, but if I did, he said, I'd run as a Republican because they're the easiest people to fool.
Yep, I remember that.
And well, there you go.
He wasn't lying.
Huh?
I said he wasn't lying.
No, he showed that, but he proved that. But
vote for him anyway. I like take the guns first, due process second. Red flag gun confiscation laws was bought out by the Rothschilds banking cartel back in the 1990s when he got underwater with Taj Mahal in Atlantic City. Not jailing Hillary Clinton. There's so many things we could list here about Donald Trump, showing that he is anti-freedom, anti-constitution, hates the Bill of Rights, despises freedom of speech, and you voted for him anyway, Jim? And you're going to sit there and say, I'm not bashing Trump.
I just don't know what to think anymore. The Qatar one. Whoa. Wait a minute. We still got Maui going on. We still got North Carolina going on. We still have parts of Florida. We still have Pasadena. We still have homeless. We still have veterans that aren't taken care of. We still have health care we don't have. What do you mean you just got a big new plane? What do you mean you're building in Gaza?
He's talking about the $400 million jet that Qatar gave to Donald Trump.
What do you mean that you're making all these great deals? What do you mean Qatar has an Air Force base? What do you mean I couldn't be president of the United States of America? Tell me something. It's still we, the people, right? That wasn't funny, but this is all meant to distract us. It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. And it's especially not good if you know what politics is and you know what politicians are and who politicians are and how corrupt they are and how deep this goes. And you continue to participate in the system anyway. The corrupt rotten, cesspool-filled swamp that Donald Trump and all the other Democrats and Republicans keep on filling. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know. I appreciate you guys being here, and I'll see you.
Wow.
Oh, we lost someone, I think.
What?
We lost.
Roger.
Yeah.
Roger left. Yeah, he said he had to go do something or whatever.
I think he's doing a stream later.
So this is pretty logical thinking right here. I like this. It's right along those same lines.
Yes, High Impact Flicks, Brian.
Yeah,
Here's the
Brian,
deal. Disturb Illusion. That's
Yep.
those his channels.
Yeah. He's I've been following him for a few years, man.
Is that Harry Potter?
I've seen
It
him,
is.
but I can't remember what I was talking about.
Expelliarmus.
What is that? Ohio State? I think
Yeah,
it's
where Duffy was from.
Buckeyes.
Why does Israel have the right to exist? Seriously, explain it to me like I'm 5. Why does
Because all
Israel
humans
have the
do.
right to exist? The reason I'm asking this question is because every single politician at the local, state, and federal level that I've ever seen in a debate has been asked that question, and their answer has to be yes. Why? Why? I have no problem with Jewish people. I'm not anti-Semitic. I have no problem with the people of Israel or the people of Gaza. So when I see genocide being committed in that region against people that I have no problem with, when I see people talking about how they love cutting off the heads of babies, how they love shooting babies, how they love shooting people who are recovering bodies, how they love shooting people who are trying to get food, humanitarian aid in the middle of streets, how they want to bomb Gaza until all the people of Palestine are eradicated. I see people talking about how Israel already picks our politicians, and those are Israelis talking about all of these things. So my question is, without religious reasoning, without using any religious texts, tell me why they deserve to exist. Why is the answer to that question have to be yes? I just want to know. I'm genuinely asking. And repost this and comment if you're wondering why that answer has to be yes. Because I don't think it needs to be at this point.
That's true too. I mean, what does that actually mean? Do they have the right to exist?
Yeah.
That's kind of a yes and no question. Okay, go find yourself a piece of land that's not occupied by anybody, and then you can have, then you can have that. But you don't get to take somebody else's fucking house and claim it's yours because you got some kind of religious book that says that, oh, God told us we could have this 3,000 fucking years ago. Shut the fuck up, man.
No, God said clearly later that he rejects them because they did not obey his laws. What he said is they will be his people if they obey his laws and
they
stop
didn't.
worshipping all gods. They didn't.
They didn't.
So that's why Zionists, Christian Zionists, so-called, saying that the God's chosen people, because they freaking miss this part because they are retarded.
Well, here's a rabbit hole I never thought I'd run across. This is kind of crazy. Oops. This is gonna take a little bit, but bear with it.
Absolutely none of the NASA worshippers are ready for this one. So in 1962, 3 men escaped from Alcatraz without a trace, completely vanished from one of the highest security and hardest to escape prisons in America. They just gone. And then 7 years later, these 3 men land on the moon, stepping onto the world stage. Now, is it just me, or do these faces look eerily similar? Maybe you guys don't see it yet, but let me show you. Here are the 3 escapees from Alcatraz prison that got away with life vests, apparently. And here's the 3 men that landed on the moon: Buzz Aldrin, Michael Collins, and Neil Armstrong. They couldn't possibly all be a match, right? They couldn't all be the same people. Let's start with Neil, though. Let's see the overlay on Neil here. Whoa. Damn. That is shockingly the exact same facial features. What a striking coincidence. Have a look at Michael Collins now. Damn. I mean, maybe the nose. Nope, it's looking. Whoa. Yeah. Very interesting stuff, guys. Again, entertainment purposes only here. This is strictly for entertainment. Let's have a look at Buzz Aldrin here. The guy that says that we never went to the moon, by the way. He won't admit it. He says that we never went. Let's overlay the face. Damn. You know when children ask him why we haven't been to the moon, and he's like, because we didn't go. We haven't gone to the moon. And here these men are heroes, still standing vindicated. But the eyes are useless when the mind is blind. NASA believers. Bah, bah.
I like it. Please throw a link to this one. I will upload it on my channel.
Roger showed us similar clip to that on his channel the other night.
Did he?
Well, it wasn't that exact one, but it had similar stuff on it.
Here's in the regular chat for that, and I'll put it in the private chat.
Yeah, I mean, we all know about the Challenger, right?
Right? That is pretty crazy. You know, that, and once you step out and look at everything as in its totality, you know, the fact that they had to subject every kid in school to this too, you know, traumatize everybody, all of them. I've never heard of that. I was like, what? They got a fucking TV set in every class? What? Are you shitting me?
If they quote unquote escaped or whatever, like it makes sense why they would have a reason to not fuck up again or whatever. Like it's like a control thing too. Like, you know, they say they escaped, but what if they were released, quote unquote? You know what I mean? Like you do this, but otherwise you're going back to Alcatraz, right? By threat of duress.
I think down in some of these Latin American countries, man, if you escape from prison, the law is they have to let you go. If you can escape, you get to go free. That's pretty cool. Of course, you're liable to get killed trying to escape, but the military base on Mount Herman, I guess.
What is the UN hiding at Mount Herman? They don't want you to know what's buried at the top of Mount Herman. In the book of Enoch, it's written that 200 fallen angels descended upon this exact mountain, corrupting mankind and leading humanity to worship false gods. Sounds like a myth, right? Then explain this. British explorer Sir Charles Warren led an expedition here. What did he find? A massive ancient temple built in a spiral formation. At the center, an altar, likely for sacrifices. But that's not all. He also discovered a stone tablet with strange carvings, unlike anything ever found before. He sent it back to England, but once it reached the British Museum, it was locked away. No research, no access, nothing. And today, the UN has a secret base at the peak of Mount Herman. Only high-ranking officials and military personnel are allowed in. They've banned any archaeological digging in or around the area. Why? What are they hiding? Is this proof that the Book of Enoch was removed from the Bible because it held forbidden knowledge? If Mount Herman is just another mountain, why does the world's most powerful organizations go to such extreme lengths to control it? What's really up there?
I've heard that. And you know what that that outfit is called up there? UNDOF. It's United Nations Disengagement Observer Force. And who are they up there? The fallen angels that were on Mount Herman were the what? The Watchers. And now this thing's the United Nations Disengagement Observer Force. You can look them up on YouTube or on Google. UNDOF.
Where they at, man? Where's Mount Herman?
It's over in the Middle East there in Israel.
Yeah, if that's like the land they're fighting over, like Golem Heights type shit, or like what are we talking about? I don't know exactly. Syria, Egypt, fucking Japan. I don't know where's Mount Herman.
Japan. Yep. Because that's in, First Japanese 1 and 2, the two books of the New Testament about
Shanzu. Yeah. Well, that's just it too. Like everybody's all about the, the Bible and that, and it's like there's texts that predate it. You know what I mean? Like there's so many religions that predate it. And the other thing is though, yeah, it's like, is it worth fighting over at any point? Like,
yes. Yeah. I don't think anything's worth fighting over, to tell you the truth.
Someone, I will throw a joke for you now.
I got the other phone. I can look shit up. I'm just lazy.
Okay, yeah, I noticed. Here's New York City.
Nothing beats a Jet2 holiday. And right now, you can save £50 per person. That's £200 off for a family of 4. We've got millions of free child place holidays available with
Free bath. That's saving
in
money,
Manhattan,
you know?
Yeah. That was in Manhattan.
All right, listen this. You know, the penis, Dick, lives the saddest of lives. His family are nuts. His neighbor is an asshole. His best friend is a cunt. His owner loves to give him a good beating. His head has a hole. His owner puts a plastic wrap on his head and bash his head in the wall till he vomits.
You know what the difference? You know what the difference between a bullet and a Jew is?
What?
One comes out of the chamber.
Oh.
What would be the similarities?
So here's this is those flooded streets. This is really, you didn't hear about any of this.
Oh, the ice cream truck full of drugs is still moving.
That's fucked, man. Looks like
come through now.
Looks like Venice, Italy, don't it?
Yeah, and you got an old person on there. Why are you risking them?
Never seen anything like it, right? Never even fucking heard of this type of shit in the city, right?
Where was this? New York or Jersey?
Yeah, New York.
Wow.
It's like a low spot.
Gets like that around here when it rains really good.
God.
But sometimes the shit will clog. Sometimes the shit will clog up, and it'll do that. But these urban cities have been like they're inland though, and they do have really good. Like most of them are built on a river. If you have to overflow it into the fucking river. We do that all the time in Canada. I mean, I'm sure you guys do too. Everything goes into the river if it has to, especially, right? So and then yeah, is it possible it's like coming up from the ground somehow, like the rain's hitting us from above?
It's very possible.
Could be.
Because these cities never use. I mean, Toronto flooded too, right? So it's Toronto. I seen it in Detroit. Then they had the freeze this year in Detroit, where it all came up like 2 feet, and and like they're next to a lake, not an ocean. Like, what the fuck? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's the ice one really got me, and it wasn't a broken water main. It was like 3 feet of ice.
Huh.
I don't know if you guys remember Chicago. You're closer to me.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, just this year, it was just a big flood, froze. It was about
where?
Well, -10 degrees in Detroit or something, and there was like a huge flood.
I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
This year?
Sure. Yeah, just past really.
I remember there was a real cold time when that Jesse Smollett thing happened.
Yeah.
That was a few years ago, though.
That was MAGA country.
Yeah, MAGA country. Going out to the subway in sub-zero weather.
Bright red MAGA country.
God. That was the dumbest shit. Wonder what that dude's doing now. Nothing. Smoking crack at his grandma's house.
Hanging out on Epstein Island.
Epstein Island.
Gravity Richie versus Boston. You guys ever watch Richie from Boston at all? No. I just like dropping names. Oh, come on. He's a straight loon. Can't help but laugh.
No, I ain't watched him in a long time, man.
Gravity versus density. The lie starts right here. They told you gravity pulls everything down. But have you ever seen gravity? You drop a feather and a hammer and say that's gravity. But what if that's not gravity at all? What if everything you've been taught was just clever storytelling with zero proof? Let me ask you something raw. If gravity pulls everything down, how do helium balloons go up? Why do fish float mid-water, not sink to the bottom? Why can a hot air balloon rise, float and stop as if gravity just gave up? Does gravity take coffee breaks? They'll say, oh, it's buoyancy and density too. But wait, if density and buoyancy explain that, what's gravity even doing here? They created gravity to make the globe model possible. Without it, the spinning ball fantasy collapses. Now here's the kicker. No scientist in history has ever measured gravity pulling mass to the center of a spinning ball. Not once. They just made a math formula and told you to believe. That's not science, that's religion masquerading as physics. Now imagine this. You're on a train, it's moving, you jump. Do you land behind where you jumped? No, because you're moving with the train. But they claim Earth spins 1,000 miles per hour. Yet butterflies hover, smoke rises straight, rain falls down like Earth isn't even moving. Where's the chaos? Gravity, they say, keeps it all together. But if you actually think about it, density explains everything without the fantasy glue of gravity. They said apples fall because of gravity, but maybe apples just fall because they're denser than the air around them. No invisible force needed. And here's the wild part. You've never felt gravity. You've felt weight. You've felt mass, you've seen things fall, but you've never felt the pull of a planet, because that planet might not be a planet at all. What if we've been lied to, not just about gravity, but about the very shape beneath our feet? What if the real force isn't gravity, but deception? See, once you remove gravity, the globe becomes a joke. Spinning water ball in space. No force holding oceans down, clouds hovering peacefully on a sphere twirling at breakneck speed. Nah. We live on something still, flat, measurable, testable. So next time someone drops a mic and says gravity, ask them this. Can you show me gravity or just the effects of objects with different densities in a fluid system? Let their silence speak volumes. This isn't about science class anymore. It's about waking up from the globe dream, because the truth is simple and the lie is complex for a reason. So now I ask you, if density makes more sense than gravity, why are they still forcing gravity down our throats? What else are they hiding? The question isn't what goes up must come down, it's what else have they lied about, and why are we just now realizing it? This video is for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, don't get it for any other purpose. If you use it for any other purpose, then they'll come after you. Well, they'll come right after you, man. They will show you, and they're ruthless. They have no ruth.
Oh man, those are the worst kind.
My grandmother's name was Ruth Taylor. Yeah, my grandmother's name is Ruth. Yeah, she was pretty tough, grandma. She'd hit you with a slipper if you fucked up.
Did she have Ruth? Did she have Ruth?
She was pretty gangster. She had a lot of love. She had gangster love. Yeah, she was tough. Yeah.
That's not what Ruth is.
Well, ruthless means like basically.
No, not ruthless.
I know, but it's
if you have Ruth, then you're not ruthless, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I remember it was the same word. I just didn't realize it was the opposite. But yeah, it was something along that line. But it's still about justice, it says, or something. I don't know.
No,
the last time I looked it up.
Let me ask you something, Snowman. Do you feel more like you do right now than you did earlier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel more like I do now. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, because the reason I ask is because it's a lot later than it was earlier. I mean, albeit it's still earlier than it's going to be, because later it'll be later than it is now. So, but at that point in time, it'll still be earlier than it will be. You know what I'm getting?
And in the winter, a crow flies the same speed as it does when it's not in the winter.
I broke his brain. Look at that.
No, he didn't break anything. I was just wondering if Janusz fell asleep on us. Yeah.
unironically, when you go buy a globe, it says the same thing. This is for entertainment purposes only.
Yeah, I'm kind of still beat up about the space thing because I know for sure that, for sure I know.
What do you know
or I
for
think
sure?
that the fucking moon landing was a bunch of bullshit.
All right, I agree.
Something I think I know. I think I know that anyway. But like besides that, like the NASA shirt,
Oh
like
yeah.
every time I see one, I'm like, bro, I'm like, do you have any idea like what you're doing to me right now? Like you're fucking like you're hurting my feelings. Like I want to just turn pure Karen blue hair and be like, this guy's wearing a NASA shirt and I'm fucking triggered just for
No,
a
man,
joke.
here's what you do.
We
just
should-
go up to him and say, you just go up to him and say, hey man, I like your gay pride shirt.
Yeah, no, I can't get away with that. My country's getting pretty sensitive about that after our prime minister was pretty colorful, right? He didn't care. Oh, I forget like when I can say things and can't, so that's why I'm quiet sometimes. But yeah, like fucking our prime minister, Justin Trudeau, he didn't care if they were still in school or nothing, none of that. That didn't fucking matter to him at all.
Well, it's all just a big horseshit game, anyways.
Yeah, but you can't say anything about that stuff around here. You end up like David Chappelle, like you say something about the trans people, and 4 of them will be at your house, like small community.
Well, that's where you're at. See, now look at here. I had a guy because I'm so dangerous.
Yeah.
That I had a guy from Scotland literally look up and call my county sheriff and try to get me locked away in a cage. Yeah. Because I suggested that one of the best things he could get amputated would be his head, not his leg. And then the source of all of his problems would be gone. It was a joke. But he's a very feminine, I think, female to male transition is what I think. And I think his estrogen levels were rather high.
I think, yeah, you're just like a modern day Richard Pryor. They're just not ready for everything to be on a satire comedic level, And
that's those people have no fucking sense of humor. They can't. I've never heard any of them ever really be funny ever.
Goodbye.
That's why I just fuck it. I don't care. But anyway, because of this bullshit in Venezuela, we're like leaving Israel vulnerable. I guess they're pulling our ships out of there or some shit. Let me bring this up real quick.
The Middle East is about to team up on Israel, and they're taking advantage of something the US just did. The US just pulled out their last aircraft carrier from the Middle East, and they've sent it to Venezuela. And that's important. There is now no one left in the Middle East to defend Israel for the first time in decades, and the Middle East might take advantage of this. If you don't know, back in May, during the 12-day war between Iran and Israel, this aircraft carrier fleet actually intercepted a majority of the Iranian missiles headed to Israel. According to reports, if that American aircraft carrier fleet was not there doing that, Iran would have caused a huge amount more damage to Israel than they did. So the US just abandoned Israel. They're preparing to attack Venezuela, it seems. So Israel is now on their own, and they've got to defend themselves. And this comes at the same time the peace talks in Gaza are breaking down, to be fair, mainly because Israel is breaking them down themselves. But still, this is a big deal. Obviously, if Israel decided to kick off the war in Gaza again, at the same time this aircraft carrier fleet has left Israel, then really, this could start a big war in the Middle East, as other countries wouldn't fear being attacked. So that's the main point to focus on. The US deterrent of attacking Israel just left, which means these countries aren't really that scared anymore. At the very least, it would take weeks for the US to come and help Israel, and by that point, it could be too late. But separately, I just got banned from making any money from these videos, and that genuinely means that I can't afford to keep bringing you the news anymore.
Well, that's unfortunate.
That's what I was going to say.
Anyway, I thought that was kind of interesting because, yeah, they are. They sent one of their biggest ones, the USS Gerald Ford, which is like their biggest fucking carrier, is down there off the coast of Venezuela, helping to blow up speedboats. Kid on a raft. He's a narco terrorist shooting with a sidewinder.
That might be true. I don't believe for a second that they took all their boats out of the Middle East at all. Not, I don't believe that one. Why? Why would they announce that? And why would some kid on freaking TikTok know that?
They got the Iron Dome anyways.
I could find out for a fact if that was true or not. But anyway.
Yeah, they got the Iron Dome where they need boats for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that worked real well for them.
Yeah, it didn't work very good at all. This is pretty good. You'll like this.
With Freddie Juger.
Hey, excuse me. I saw that you had an inkjet printer for sale on Facebook Marketplace for $30. Could you maybe do $5?
Freddie Juger.
I like how he had the yarmulke on top of his head. Oh, it's Steve. Oh, God.
Wasn't that something?
Oh, no. We talked about those people.
I had some shit written down about Israelis just to like ignore that. I had some shit written down. Like, what if it was just a big psyop right now to like? I realize it's a fucking genuine genocide or whatever. I guess like
that must have been a fucking Jew that just came up here.
It was.
Yeah, they're the only people that would have things like that.
Must have been one that made it out of the chamber.
Wow.
But then I thought, man, the people that are really running this show and shit, whether they call themselves whatever, Khazarians or whatever, they don't give a fuck about land any more than they have a fucking soul. This connection to Israel and our spiritual connection through the three Abrahamic religions to that area, these particular faction doesn't fucking subscribe to any of that shit. If you catch my drift, kind of. You know what I mean? Like, that's not the same God. So therefore, that land isn't fucking holy to them.
They hide behind that. They hide behind that.
But deep down, they don't give a fuck. They'll set up shop in Alaska, Antarctica. They don't care. Wherever they feel like it. And
yeah,
I think
it's a bunch.
I think every 100 years, this shit rolls up, and we're short of 100 years coming up from World War II. That was the last time they pulled their card and got kicked the fuck out of a superpower, right?
You know who that probably was? Jaron.
It could have been.
Yeah, because we had said some shit earlier. That's our. What were we looking at here? Was that something here?
Roger's gone now, so I don't know why you do that.
It's the last time I show up with that on my tag.
Got a vendetta against Roger now, huh?
Oh, this is pretty good. This is I forget what his name is. I've been on a couple panels with this guy before. He's all right. This is pretty good.
Good morning, aloha from Florida. So, why does it matter if the earth is flat? Because it's true, and the truth matters. Truth makes you strong, lies make you weak. If you believe the earth is a globe, you probably believe that men walked on the moon. If you believe the earth is a globe, you probably believe that 2 little airplanes knocked down 3 huge buildings. If you believe the earth is a globe, you probably believe that fires just naturally start here and there and destroy entire cities. You probably believe that a hurricane can just go directly at Jamaica and take it out in natural ways, natural causes. Lots of crazy stuff to believe if you believe the earth is a globe. The earth is flat, and that's absolute scientific fact. The truth of the light of creation, the truth of creation, the light that comes from that truth, helps you to see things that you might believe are true when someone says them, but you can see clearly that they are false. Have a great day. God bless.
I like that guy. All right.
Why has he always got a black eye?
Yeah, why is he always got? I think that's like a birthmark.
Oh, is that a birthmark or something?
So did Jamaica get devastated or whatever? They were supposed to get hit pretty hard, and then I don't know. I didn't see any. If YouTube doesn't put it in front of me, I don't really even find it. Like, I don't really doom scroll on YouTube very much, but like, if I don't see, basically that's the only application I open up. Really, like. Not big on action on that shit.
They got hit pretty hard, if that's what you're asking. I don't really know the extent of it. They really haven't talked about it too much.
Who's that?
Jamaica.
Oh, the Kingston's gone.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Of course, they was planning on putting a smart city there too. So
oh yeah,
that works out. Wonder what all happened to all the Rastafarians.
Well, they're showing up at the border. They'll be in Detroit by tomorrow, bud.
What'd they do? Blow across the ocean?
Yeah, well, whoever's left, they stay in there.
Jesus Christ. What, you think they swam?
Yeah, probably. I would.
Might have been floating.
Sometimes I gotta wonder about you, Snowman.
I'm a pretty good swimmer, man. I could swim from
I'm not
Cuba.
talking about you, about Rastafarians. How good of swimmers are they?
They don't even like the water.
I cannot swim.
Rastafarians are good swimmers because their hair keep them afloat.
Yeah, they got that.
You know, if you claim Rastafarian in the military, you're the only one that can smoke weed. Actually.
Wow.
I know.
Shit, I wish I would have known that.
I know, right?
Boy,
I dropped the link to the ex-Mossad chief from the horse mouth. He says what they were doing and still are doing.
Oh yeah, about making it. It's a big show. It's all a big fucking show.
No, not this one. Not this one. It's a different one.
Oh, okay.
Holy shit! They are trying to replace Usha Vance with Erica Kirk, because Erica Kirk and JD Vance is their Christian nationalist wet dream, and you won't convince me otherwise. Because what is this? What is this body language? When did we start putting our hands up in the hair of our friends when we hug?
I commented on this.
You don't. This is weird. Oh, and then there's this one. JD, why are your hands so low? There's no reason for them to be
Want to
on
touch
her
her
hips.
butt?
She's very open.
But if that's not enough, here is her introducing him at Turning Point.
I am tremendously blessed and honored tonight to be able to introduce to you a very, very dear friend and his wife. They are incredible. And I see no one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do.
And if you're not convinced yet that they're trying to replace her with Erica Kirk, this is him when asked by a student about him and his wife's difference in like their religious beliefs, and he ends it with this.
Do I hope eventually that she is somehow moved by the same thing that I was moved in by church? Yeah, I honestly do wish that, because I believe in the Christian gospel, and I hope eventually my wife comes to see it the same way.
He wants her to fall in line. He wants her to be a Christian nationalist just like him. And if he can't convince her, he'll find a new one.
Well, you know, when she's going for holidays before without her husband, yeah. Do you know what her legs were saying to each other?
No, what?
Finally together.
Ironically, he sees a little bit of himself in her.
Yeah, I bet he does. I bet he does. Jesus.
So the guy is having sex with the girl, but he's putting like a freaking paper bag, on the head, and he just can't do it, And the girl says, "Tell me that you love me." No, I don't. So you don't like anything in me? Is there nothing which you like in me? Yeah, there is. What it is? Tell me. Yeah, there is, but it will be out in 2 seconds.
All right, so this West Virginian boy, he got married, and he left his mom and dad's house and everything. He went off on the honeymoon, and the night he's supposed to be out there on the honeymoon, late that night, mom and dad hear a knock at the door, and they open the door, and it's him. He's back. They said, "Well, what happened, son?" He says, "I had to get out of there." And he says, "I made an awful mistake." He says, "Well, what do you mean?" He says, we was getting ready to do our honeymoon, and she got there on the bed, took off her clothes, and she said for me to be gentle because it was her first time. And the way I looked at it, if she wasn't good enough for her own family, she wasn't good enough for ours neither.
Stereotypes are real.
Anyway.
Here's your nightly news update. Spoiler alert, it's not good. So Trump's administration is greenlighting a process which will see National Guard deployments throughout. Tens of thousands of National Guard soldiers will be deployed, trained and deployed. Here's the memo. You can take a look. These National Guard are not here to protect you from the scary immigrants. They are there to ensure that when the riots begin, the class war riots, that they can keep us in check. And I mean, I'm sure the fact that some of Trump's top military minds are secluding themselves in secret bases, I'm sure that has nothing to do with it. Else that I'm sure has nothing to do with any of this is the fact that King Charles is dismissing, he's evicting Prince Andrew. That's interesting timing. Gee, I wonder if maybe they've figured out that the Epstein files release is imminent and the repercussions of this will be mass civil unrest and also, of course, Prince Andrew being just so dirty. Gee, yeah, there it is, all in a nice little package. Release the files, though. We're ready. I mean, whatever. Let's go. Also, they are trying to shut me down. Here's a little clip of someone trying to like one of my videos. Look at the likes bouncing around. For anyone that questions whether they're actually fucking with me, they are 100% fucking with me. So please, if you can, support the channel. I'm nothing without y'all. I won't stop fighting. Hit the link in bio. I love y'all.
I document that kind of crap all the time.
It's nuts, man.
Mm-hmm. I'll show you here. I'll put one. I did one for what's his name? Stinky Cash.
Oh, wow. Where's it at? Oh, in the back. Okay.
Yeah, I'll get it here in just a second. Sorry.
We'll put this up real quick.
I don't need anybody to share the same thoughts or you two. But I think where it gets scary is that we give, we're complicit in it because we help fund like military stuff, and that's where as like a regular guy, you're like, well, I'm paying these taxes and they're going towards this, like, but you can't do anything, like you can talk, but it's like, you can't, I don't understand how it becomes like tough for people. Like sometimes it feels like we look out for the interests of Israel before we look out for the interests of America.
So let me say a couple things. So number one, like, I think you're a great dude, so we don't always have to agree on everything. Do I think do I think it's a genocide? No. And here's the reason why I don't think it's a genocide, because I don't think that the Israelis are purposely trying to go in and murder every Palestinian. I don't think that's what they're doing.
They are.
I think they got hit hard, and I think they're trying to, like, sort of destroy this terrorist organization, and war is hell, and that is true. I also think it's true, man. I mean, I've seen people on my side of the political aisle. I'm a Republican, you know that, but your audience may not, who like will see these videos of these innocent Palestinian kids and say, oh, well, they had it coming to them. No. Like if you have a soul, your heart should break when you see a little kid who's suffering, which is why we have the policy that we have, which is we're trying to eliminate the conflict, eliminate the source of the conflict, so that we can actually bring some peace and some humanitarian assistance into people. And that's my basic view. And the president's interesting. He's a pro-Israel guy.
Yeah.
And he also recognizes
he's not looking into his eyes when he's he's all the time looking to the left,
searching up in his head for the script, man.
Yep.
I think so.
He's a dick. Wow, so we're gonna have the big EBT wars are gonna start, right? Tomorrow? Are that's I'm waiting on. How about
what's the EBT?
I'm gonna go down to the border. I'll be watching the border. See if anybody tries to fucking come up here and get our food stamps.
So what's the EBT?
Oh, the food stamps, the SNAP.
Right. Okay.
I wonder if that page is still on here. Let me see. Let's see. It was called EBT. Come on now. EBT of TikTok. Oh, they must have made him get rid of it. Let me see.
I stumbled onto this. It was just like a random thing. It was like something dynamics or something, and they made military equipment. And what it was these like 8-wheel units. And then they had like all these variations on them and shit. And I got down a rabbit hole into fucking military equipment, like modern day military equipment. It was crazy. Like, and then they got, like the special forces and shit. Like they got like not special forces, but like SWAT type shit. Like, like anyways, they have vehicles, SWAT style vehicles that you'll never see, right? But they're just wild looking armored vehicles, right? Like about half the size of a real monster truck, right?
I put that. I know you're doing something right now, but I put that post in the regular chat there.
Okay.
So basically, I just took a screenshot of that Stinky Cash video, and down below it says no views. Well, there's been 500, if that's even correct, 544 people viewed that thing, but they don't want anybody new clicking on it because he talks about the who's, the Jews. Oh, excuse me.
Is that 6 minute 49 second?
No, it should just be a post.
It was a post, but it was a gap.
Huh? It shouldn't. That. Oh, maybe I put the wrong thing. Sorry.
Says just testing YouTube's new free speech policy.
Yeah. So if you look at the picture there,
yeah,
down below it says no views on that video. You see that?
No, I don't see it. Let me see.
Oh, maybe I put the wrong one in.
It says 544.
Yeah, I put the wrong one in. That was later. Here, hang on a second. That should be the right one. Sorry.
Sometimes I think this antiseptic fucking propaganda is a distraction. For what? I don't know. But if it is, it'd be the biggest deception they tried yet. It's just to really look this way while I do something with my other hand, right? And this is a big deal. Like I said, this is once in every 100 years type of.
So, real quick. So, yeah, it says no views right there. I viewed it. So, that's one at the very least. And I know a bunch of other people did. They just want to dissuade people from looking at that.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of crap that guy was just talking about, how they mess with likes and views. Definitely on flat earthers, or if you talk about Jews and all of them people.
That's the one he did in open court, right?
Right.
Like,
yeah, you probably watched it. So many people watched it.
Yeah, well, we watched it, didn't we?
Right, exactly. They just suppress the views. I just try and document that stuff to show how YouTube kind of screws everybody that way. I mean, we all know it, don't get me wrong, especially in this community, but I just like to put it out there for other people who think it ain't true.
I could see why that would be sensitive to them, though, because it's basically unedited raw footage and it's like 100% perfect. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could tell that, I don't know, it seemed a little bit like he was a little bit upset or whatever. Like, he did seem like he got a little bit rattled by them. But yeah, I don't know. It seemed like he did a really good job. Yeah, part of me was like, is that green screen? But at the same time, the forum is what would piss him off. They wouldn't want to see anybody else doing it. You know what I mean? And once in a while, they show you like, that people were sticking up for the schools and shit about certain things that like are like politically charged issues, right?
Good thing about them is that 2/3 of them will be wiped out by God, and 1/3 of them will realize that the Christ is really God, and then their knees will bow. That's in the Bible. So I'm kind of happy about that. So there will be 2/3 of them gone.
My main point, all of that, is that the suppression, the censorship of this side of things drives me insane, especially when it comes to YouTube. And that's how, when you got these Globers who say, oh, we don't have a problem with all this. No kidding, you don't have a problem with all this. You can get your crap out to anyone, no problem, because you're on the right side of quote unquote truth, But yeah, it's just wild to me that, it happens to everybody here. It happens to you, Janusz. If any of these people in the chat, if they post something, it happens to all of them too. Anybody else on this side, their channels get suppressed. That stuff, it's bogus.
They're on the right side of propaganda.
Well, that's the truth.
They support it and promote it, and they get hefty paid for that. So I don't care about them. I don't respect them. So Yeah, they're fuckers and liars.
The fuck is? Oh, the
I'm
guy.
just concerned. Sometimes I'm concerned less about the surveillance equipment and who is in control of it and who has actionable ability to fucking move on it, right? Like, like, so, for example, if they really want to move on it, then they'd have to be motivated to do such a thing, right? Like, for instance, if I'm listening to the scanner and I hear the liquor store's been robbed, they got $12,000, they're headed north on whatever, it's illegal for me to go intercept them and fucking, either vigilante it or fucking take the money and run myself, right? So it's perfectly legal in most places in Canada to listen to a scanner, but if you actively move on it, then even from a towing perspective, it could be construed as illegal, right?
I understand everything you're saying, but I don't know what the hell it has to do with anything what we were talking about.
Well, they're talking about Palantir and surveillance and shit, and just all down every rabbit
I was talking
hole.
about censorship, though. I wasn't talking about surveillance.
He was talking about who has the right to
I was
move
getting
on it.
to it.
Well, I get what he was talking about. That's not the issue. But anyway.
Well, the censorship too, like I said, man. Sometimes I think like whoever they is, like we better make sure we have the right day. Like they're just a piece of the puzzle, right? And they're being, rightfully so. Their government's actions being villainized, right? So
okay, the right day. That's the Nephilim and demons. That's the right and the old gods. That's the right day. The rest of it, in a matter of humans, it's the puppets. All of them, no exception. They have bloodlines. They can interact with them, and they have to go through the specific rituals to get connected with them, and they have be in their presence. But they are still puppets. That's how it goes. It's going very deeply because, like I said before, the currency is the blood. That's the real currency. That's why there's adrenochrome and other shit, and that's why they drink as well. The rabbis, they drinking blood from the penises of small children after circumcision.
I think therefore I am, right? So whether you believe it or not, that doesn't require me to believe in order for my beliefs to still be my beliefs, right? You know what I mean? Like I know, like we get into an argument and bang heads, who's right and who's wrong, right? That's just how it's always going to be, I guess.
I just don't believe it because I know it, because it's a spiritual war. And I have personal experience. So based on that, because I had a good personal experience, so I know evil exists. And I know the evil is the deceiver, is the accuser. I just know it.
So this is pretty rich. American Jews who shill for Israel are calling for the deportation of American immigrants who don't shill for Israel. This is Stephen Miller's wife, Katie Miller, calling out Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks. Stephen Miller, part of the administration, he's in a position of power.
Nobody said Jews. You just said it. You always do that. We say Israel, you say Jews. We say Israel is a government. Please don't make it about Jewish Americans. And you come back, but you have to make it about Jewish Americans. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
What's interesting about this is she first starts off by saying Israel is the only state for Jews. I feel like if you're arguing for a Jewish state, a Jewish foreign country, and you're claiming that is the country for you because you're Jewish, you're saying you don't belong here. You're saying you belong in this other country. It's the country just for Jews, so that's your country. No one is telling you you don't belong here. You're telling you don't belong here. And you're telling your fellow Jews you don't belong here.
Quite frankly, I'm really sick and tired of this racist, bigoted rhetoric that comes from people like you against my husband, against my family, and my children. I am raising Jewish children in this country.
Who brought your
in which
children into this? What a weirdo.
Piers, I'm going to be done with this if you're going to allow racist and bigoted attacks against one of your commentators.
So rather than it just being, no, we just don't like you and your viewpoints. Oh, well, I'm Jewish. Well, then you must be an anti-Semite. You must be attacking all Jews. No, attacking you personally. Nothing to do with your religion or your belief or your culture or anything like that. It's just you. You're the problem. But it gets worse. She's threatening Cenk, who's born in a different country, he's an American immigrant, and she's threatening him with deportation.
You better check your citizenship application and hope everything was legally and correct.
So check your citizenship. That's what she's saying to him. So she's an American Jew, but she shills for Israel. And she's saying because Cenk Uygur was born somewhere else, but he's an American, and he's not shilling for Israel, a foreign country, that he should be deported. She's not America first. That is the opposite of America first. They bank on people being stupid. They bank on people not getting it. They bank on people not thinking it through. They bank on that when they say, we should deport all of these American immigrants who don't support a foreign country. If they're not willing to support a foreign country, they're not American enough for us.
Well, I'd just like to let my government know I'm from Belize, so you can deport me now.
Yep, you can go ahead and send my ass out here. What are they going to say? I don't know. I don't get it.
I'm going to go somewhere. I better go somewhere nice, right?
Right. Man, I've seen
Come
these
to
birds
Poland.
before, man, and these things freak me out. I'll watch them for hours. You ever
Come
seen
to
these?
Poland, Kabi.
You ever seen these?
Which one?
This. Watch this.
He said even the birds are dancing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah, I've seen similar.
What is it, all creatures? They worship?
We had, there was a whole bunch of them one time. I was going up I-81, and it was just for miles and miles and miles, just a huge swarm of them birds like that flipping around and doing that shit, man.
Mm.
It's like, how do they all know which way to go and shit? It's so crazy.
That's wild.
That's fascinating.
It's kind of like fish. There's fish that do that too.
Schools
Yeah,
of fish.
listen.
You know, that's like pure magic.
Yeah, like how they not run into each other.
I know, right?
Yeah, and their brain is not capable of doing the math, yet they're doing fighter pilot maneuvers, right? So they have to factor in for every mosquito, like, you know, or be able to change. Like, they must have really good control, right? Like, I've seen a sparrow, no word of a lie, like just a regular sparrow, you know, not much smaller than a baseball, fucking go right through a chain link fence like it was nothing. Like, didn't even slow down.
Watch this here.
Happening right now? Are they my children?
It's okay. It's okay. Deep breath, sir.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Ma'am, it's all right. Just hold them
They have
close.
black hair. They have black skin. What is going on?
Sir, genetics can be surprising.
They are not my babies.
Okay.
Please stop.
I think so. He has to clean his double barrel. You know, that's the problem.
What's going on there? And she knows
That's
what
AI. You can't fool me. Actually, you can't.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's plenty of AI everywhere.
Yeah, it says this video is very clearly AI generated, as you can note by its abnormal arm movements and the lack of detail in the background. All right. Did you find this helpful? I'm not going to tell you. Fuck
Yes.
off.
Plenty now videos of animals and interacting with humans. Plenty. And it's all so nice and cozy, you know, so great. It's fucking all AI.
Oh, wow.
I like when they give you those little things. It says, "Are you a robot?" You know, the little robot test. I want another little section, another box to check that says, "What if I am?"
Yeah, I think that's a separate topic in itself. The whole like AI phenomenon. When it comes to the videos and shit though, like now it's like they really are trying to blur the line finally between what you know, like they're not really holding back, and some of it's detectable for now, but that's not going to last long. And you know, like it's just kind of destroying the creative pool in the sense that like you're not going to know if anything's actually happening or if you're just
Maybe the first break was deep fake, the first of big
wow.
ones. So I've recently seen the article about the AI going into the market to earn the money, but AI had a problem with the captcha, couldn't, you know, click it. So what the AI did, hired a guy who was clicking captcha for AI. I say it's pretty smart.
I think there's more than plenty of undetectable AI that none of us could tell. We just don't. We've never seen the technology that.
Oh no, we just only see the scrapsman. You only
Right.
see the fucking shitty versions.
Yeah, it's
And
on purpose.
believe it or not, everything we see is kind of regulated. Like I don't like get easy access to live feeds from the Gaza Strip. Like, are you telling me nobody has cell phones, right? And like, you know, I mean, like, where would I look on YouTube, X, like, you know, and then it's all what they want you to see at that point too. What I'm saying is like they can really regulate it to, you know, that's not available in your country type shit. Like they're really looking at everything that we can type in and get away with right now. And like if they already could censor it, like you were saying, and just make it so that we see exactly what they want and nothing fucking else. VPNs be damned, right? They don't apparently do that anyways. Did I kill a
So,
stream?
did you?
No, not yet.
Drop the mic anyways. Yeah, I'll just watch offside then, guys. I gotta pass out soon anyways. Fuck.
All right, bro.
But, happy Halloween, man.
Yeah, man.
Scare
Happy
anybody.
No. Not happy Halloween. Like that. I'm
You gotta
Christian, I
get
can do that.
you gotta exorcise the demons and let them out once a year. Yeah.
Yeah, I can exercise them. Yeah, exactly.
Insert the purge alarm. Yeah. Okay, I'll see you guys.
All right, bro.
So, did you guys know that baseball is a Freemasonic, occultic mass ritual? That the fans in attendance and the fans at home are participating in this ritual by feeding their energy into it. Here, let's read this. Baseball is an occult Masonic ritual where even most of the players aren't aware of their actual role in the ritual itself. Nor does the unaware audience of the masses watching the game ritual from home or at the stadium. The field is all about Masonic geometry that is based on the principle of 6 that represents the ego, and the game is entirely based upon the number 3 that represents the satanic trinity of Nimrod, Semiramis, and Tammuz. The invention of baseball is usually credited to Abner Doubleday. In 1870, Doubleday was a United States Army officer and Union general in the American Civil War. After he retired, he became a prominent member of the Theosophical Society. That's New Age and Helena Blavatsky, an organization that researches the esoteric and the occult. There is no doubt that he had extensive knowledge of occult symbols, sacred geometry, and numerology, the square and compass. While almost all sports are played on rectangular fields or rinks, baseball is played on a peculiar shaped field which contains figures considered a sacred geometry and Masonic teaching. The field bears an astonishing resemblance to the square and compass of Freemasonry. The field, from home plate to left and right field wall, forms a compass. The entire outfield wall is a semicircle which this compass draws upside down, overlapping this compass.
Yeah, I think it's right. That makes sense.
I'm calling bullshit. That's a bridge too far. You've
No. It's. I agree with that. Baseball, volleyball, all of it. That's what's created, because you're giving energy. I agree with that. So it's to control the masses and siphon their energy.
All the sports are.
Yeah. Give them bread and circus.
Yep, and they shall never revolt, but that's not working because people are revolting.
Still too slow. It should happen already like 40 years ago.
I think 3.5 hours is good, man. It flew by. Can't understand how it went by so fast, man. But I'm glad we had this time together.
Indeed.
You can run the video, maybe the 3 minutes. Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's gonna cost you.
I watched it. I didn't.
You're gonna have to buy a T-shirt.
All right.
On that very last, about the ex-Mossad chief.
Yes.
Hang on. Is that gonna open? Hang on. No.
You have to copy.
Sorry about that. You extra. Now you're really pushing it.
I'm stretching you.
But yeah, all sports are pretty much fake and gay, unfortunately.
They are.
They're all for...
You should listen to the Alan Watt, not Alan Watts, Alan Watt. He's talking about
I know Alan Watt.
Yeah, it's very good. One of my favorite.
Alan Watts is?
Yes, Alan Watt.
The philosopher?
No, Alan Watts is a philosopher. Alan Watt is a conspiracy theorist.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
The two of them. This the same surname, just Watts with the S at the end.
With the S, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm talking about the one without S at the end.
Gotcha, okay.
Any surprises in Gaza?
Surprises?
Yeah.
You mean intelligence surprises?
Pages, walkie-talkies. Do you know how many equipment, treated equipment do we have in these countries? You don't. I do.
You mean you mean booby-trapped equipment?
Not only booby-trapped.
And spying.
Manipulated equipment. All right?
In which countries are you talking about?
All the countries that you can imagine.
And not Gaza?
Not Gaza. Not enough.
In Gaza at all.
Did you see that? If we had it, we knew something about them coming. Something. right? Would have sold them everything. Just everything. I mean, you can't imagine the quantity when I have invented that method. That was in 2002 to 2004.
The pager method.
The manipulated equipment method. Okay? We have already used it. Manipulated equipment in Second Lebanon War. Jesus. Some of the elements were speaking to us.
How did you use it?
Want a glass of water?
We can get some brandy. He can tell you, but he doesn't.
I know it's an early morning in London. I mean, I don't think that is the case. But how did we do it? I tell you.
Yeah, I think I showed that the other night. I had that on X.
I like those short clips when they are exposing themselves.
Yep.
You know, so they are building. How it's called? The gallows for themselves.
Freaking chat started working finally.
The chat
over on Rumble.
On Rumble.
Yeah.
Got anybody over there?
Yeah, there's a few people, 12 people. Let me see something. See if it lets me put that in. It did. Let me chat too. How about that shit? I don't know. It's crazy.
Does everybody here have? I mean, I know us. Giannis, you got Rumble?
I'm using Rumble, but I don't have channel.
Oh,
I only upload on
I just
Odyssey.
wondered if you use it.
I use it, yeah.
Yeah, we should. We need to start doing more streams over there.
Yeah, I think so. It'd be a good idea. Anyway, I'm going to shut this one down. I'm ready to go. I got to go to sleep, man. Train's going by. Made me tired.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, guys. Everybody that showed up in the chat. Good to see everybody again tonight. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. And don't forget, Lord loves a working man. Don't trust Whitey. See your doctor and get rid of him because they don't know what the fuck they're doing. And if you heard the shot, it probably wasn't meant for you. We'll see you next time on Sovereign Soul Unchained Mind. Good night, everybody.